Okay, is that the state of Hyperion right now? Have you noticed, like, the end of the winter event, like, a huge drop-off, or is it not that noticeable?
Yeah, a lot of the people who were joining early were because it was so easy to get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the loss of the title and their Hyperburn end, it was really bad.
Yeah. Wait, you're like replying on a delay. Are you hearing me through Discord or through stream?
Oh, want me to hear you through Discord, or you want me to hear you through the stream? Because I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, best if you mute the stream, but then listen on Discord so you can. Otherwise, I'm always like waiting 3 seconds for you to reply.
Yeah, but you said those gachi. You said.
Yeah.
You told
Well,
me
yeah.
those gachi, so I had to watch.
No, I get it. No, I paused it because it was going on in the background. Yeah, because otherwise I'm just like, I wasn't sure that it was coming through. Yes, you hear me immediately now?
Yes, yeah, now I hear you immediately, yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah, that's better. So yeah, you were saying, oh yeah, so once the free stuff was gone and everyone got their bag, they kind of dipped?
Yeah, they realized that the game's actually garbage. And then it takes forever to get anywhere, but...
Yeah, it's a completely different game if you're just making a Hyperburn on event or you're just grinding off huge events. Very different. So, but how's the reboot experience been in general, or the heroic server experience?
Yeah, heroic. We don't want you thinking this is a reboot or anything.
Yeah, no.
It's been fun. I think it's a completely different experience to interactive, mostly because without trade, I sort of had to, work for my gear. I think it's farm best, so I'm like, oh, hey, that's a cool discount on this item. Like, I just recently bought an Endless Terror on my Scania account, and I'm thinking, damn, Reboot could never.
Yeah. You just have to get one, and if it booms, you might have to wait another year to see another one. Yeah.
Man, I've seen 3 spellbooks so far, and that is just insane.
Yeah, it took a while for me to see my first one. It took forever, and then I lost a RPS for the loot, so I had to wait for another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're getting pushed towards small party runs and solos very quickly in Reboot, right? If you want to make that kind of progress, that's the pressure on you. Are you feeling that pressure for some drops right now?
Yeah. I'm already doing a 2-man Lucid Will and 3-man Sea Gloom.
Okay.
The issue that my parties, I'll say can't run a 3-man Dark Knell and Vihilla due to the time they require to finish, so...
Or you'd have to run like in 3 different times of the week with G skills and everything on, and...
Oh no, we can finish all 3 in G skills, it's just it would be too long for
Be too long? Wait, in which way would be too long? Like people die out, or...?
Yeah. But I'm used to it at this point. I've become very desensitized to people staying out in my boss fight at this point.
Well, I thought that was mainly because you were doing like pickup groups with like randos in the beginning.
Yeah, no. It was with my established party. Just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll start to rerun anyway, so thinking might as well rerun with pubs, and it'll be slightly faster.
Yeah, unless it's just hard Vihilla people who just want to sit in the corner the whole time and just attack it, and then because they don't want to learn any mechanics.
Oh, that was just actually yesterday. I was running at 2 in the morning. I was running at 2 in the morning of my time, and it took all 3 runs. One of the people immediately died out and left the party on the 3rd run. And I was talking about my friends on Discord because we were being weeaboos and discussing anime, and then I see someone's green dot become blue and then disappear. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to start actually paying attention.
Nice.
That was a 5-man.
That was a 5-man, or it became a 4-man because he went to red probably.
Yeah.
Right? Oh no, wait! If he logs out at 4, yeah, he stays blue, and then he still counts for the crystal. Great system.
Yeah, and then someone else died out, and I felt kind of bad. Because maybe I could have tried a little harder, but I'll still green out all the way. I was doing my job.
Well, as long as you have like the rules set up beforehand, right, on what you do in case people die. If it's a pug, then usually it's understood that you're not guaranteed to clear, and if you can clear, you try to, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's towards the end of the week. So what's what can I do for you? Kind of like some guidance on the progression.
Yeah.
You know a lot about the game already, so yeah, kind of like zoom in. Let's zoom in a little bit on which things you're wondering about.
Yeah. So I think my first look would be my Legion. I think I want to highlight my Legion first, because I've been trying to be consistent with a 30-minute Hyperion grind, 1 hour Scania grind, and then factoring in work and school. I'm just thinking, man, I really don't work my Legion today. And I'm trying to find the drive to actually sit down and get past 4K. I was just doing my Cadena earlier, and after 30 minutes, I was thinking, I don't know if I can keep going. Because I already have 9.2k Legion on Scania, and redoing Legion is just so rough. I don't know if people would do 2 accounts of this.
Yeah, I mean, usually you have one that's already established and that has like no Legion work anymore, and then another one you kind of go hard. You just go all over again, hopefully a little bit more efficiently than the first one, because you know what you're doing. But also, whatever kind of event is going on can help a lot in terms of progress there. Like the strawberry farm was probably pretty useful, I imagine.
It was, but I did it all on the last day, because I was also doing on Scania to try to 220s on my on my Legion characters. I was trying to hit 10k on Scania. Okay. And I forgot that, oh yeah, I didn't do it on Hyperion yet. So I rushed through all of it on one day, and I felt dead by the end of reset, because I didn't finish. I think I had 4 or 5 runs left before reset. Yeah, but if you're at 9.3 on Scania now? Yeah, 9.2 something, let me check.
Yeah, so getting to 9.5 on Scania is probably going to be more work than getting from what you're at now to 8k on Hyperion, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So that's kind of like how you want to look at these, not like in terms of like 200 levels versus 5,000, but like in terms of hours that it takes. Because I think you'll definitely be able to get a huge boost from events mostly on Scania now, I think. You know, like growth potions, bonks, any kind of strawberry farm type stuff. But in Hyperion, you'll be able to just get like instant gains. Like every level 60 is 60 levels, and the main way I usually attack it is just by mass generating characters. Just make like 1 character a day, get it to level 60 or 70, and just move on to the next one. Every character that's over 100, I kill daily Zakuman, and then wherever you want to do your monster park, you do your monster park. If you're done with it on your main, then either do it on a bossing mule to bring the levels up, or use it on a lower level character to just get the levels up and get them all to 140. Because as soon as you have like the whole grid full, like you got 21 more or 22 more characters, and they're all level 100, that's already 2.2k Legion extra, so you're at 6k at that point. It's really just a power in numbers kind of thing. So I just go down the list, right, under exclamation mark Legion, just or create what you want, or just go down the list, and then you can, just knock them out. But I think it's the regularity I think is powerful, but I wouldn't say like you have to do half an hour, but I would say like do 1 character, or do 1 character every other day if you don't feel like it, right? As long as if you're making like 3 to 4 characters a week, that means in like what 5 to 6 weeks you'll have like the whole characters made. If you get them all to 100, then you'll be even further, then you'll be closer to 7k.
That's a fair point. Yeah, 30 minutes every maybe other day or every 3 days. I think that's manageable.
Yeah. Because I can't even know if you're like working and school and also trying to like progress 2 accounts. Like something has got to. I guess you're single. Because if you also have that, then it's like impossible to balance all of these things, right? Yeah, no. You want to keep your
relationship when we play MapleStory.
Yeah, yeah, it's one of the something's got to give. It's like the triangle with like pick 4. I guess for you, it's a square with like be God gamer, have a job, work on your education. Yeah, you can have all of those things. So it might be a case of like really reprioritizing. You probably have to really reprioritize whenever there's an event and drop like 60% of whatever you're doing, focus on the event, and then when the event is over, like switch back, as long as the event can facilitate what you're trying to do with your account. Because I'm always like zooming out and looking at like what is every character's role, right? What is the purpose of every character? And then within what the purpose of the account is. So I'm guessing that the purpose of this account is just Dawn Warrior solo focus, and everything else is working in favor of the Dawn Warrior?
Yeah, I got some trade carries on my Demon Slayer, so I might start bossing Bioling on it, but all my nodes are still going toward the Dawn Warrior, because it's just really hard to get nodes.
Yeah, you're starting out, yeah. Well, I don't think it's not necessarily hard to get nodes. The problem is I think you just level so much faster that you're just expected to already have had more nodes by the time you get where you got. So you have fewer than someone at that level usually does, but it's not because your nodes are low, but it's because your level is fast. So like your nodes can't keep up with your level kind of thing. But the other, and as a problem with that is that you can't always level up your Hexa matrix the way you want it to, right? Because your V matrix hasn't reached the levels yet. So I'm still expecting in some way for them to make up for the node stuff early on. What are these monkeys doing here? Oh, just a bunch of orangutans just hanging out.
Yeah. I needed something. The Google Docs made an extra slide, and I didn't want to delete it, so I just added an image.
It kind of reminds me of the meeting where they're like the emote, right? Where all the the frogs
I
are
just
just like,
man.
yeah. Right, yeah. So yeah, I would say like greater picture progress in Skynet is probably going to be mostly events. And then daily-wise progress, like the amount of levels and the amount of progress you can make per time is in Hyperion is going to be way higher, especially if you still have that many characters to create. So, you know, if it's like a weekend, you can create like 3 characters in a day or something because you have time, and then maybe, you know, you don't have time during 2 or 3 days of the week, then that's fine too. As long as you keep like steady progress there, the levels will just expand. Yeah, not like exponentially, but right now you're going harder on the singular levels, which is good as long as you don't have... If you didn't have coins to rank up, it'd be better to go character to 200 at a time, right? And then once you have the coins, then you want to go wider again and just make more characters, basically. But it seems like you've got a good balance between it. You've got 800 coins. I'm assuming you can use your drop coupons whenever you want to.
Yeah, I have enough power to roughly get the 30-minute drop in every
Yeah,
day.
okay. Yeah, that's nice, yeah. Because that's the real value of your Legion, right? I mean, like, the member bonus and the grid bonus is nice, but I think the main value is in getting access to the drop coupons on top of that. And getting faster drops so that you can actually progress your character in terms of drops. Because, yeah, that's where you're just hard-gated, essentially.
I'm just thinking, the biggest reason why I haven't made so many just 60 spam, you know, small 60 spamming, is I don't want to buy character slot coupons. I see them in the shop as 10 mil, and my brain gets fried. They can't spend 10 mil for a character. Ain't no way, man.
Well, the way it was for me back in the day is if you made a character, or you bought a character slot and you trained on it, and you actually like looted your stuff, NPC'd, you roughly made that money back by the time you were like level 100 and something. So then I would just, and then with that character I would just buy the next slot and then just move the next one and kind of like fund itself in that way. But I mean, even if it is 10 mil and you buy 20 of them, that's 200 mil, but you don't have to buy them all at once, right? I think it's a worthwhile investment. I guess in non-reboot, you typically, or interactive servers, you typically had them more available, and then, were they for reward points as well?
Oh yeah, there were points as well, yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes event shops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, that's why you can just like power through it more easily, because they do make some of the money back, you know, typically just wait for a bunch of money on the ground, grab out the snail, loot it all, put the snail back, NPC the gears. I feel like you could make that money back pretty easily without it being like a net drain on your account. And even if it is a drain, I think 200 mil is a good investment to get yourself up to 6k Legion, get your, be able to put all of your your higher level characters on the board. And then if you have a whole bunch of 140s, then that's quite a lot of coverage immediately. And then you'll be able to divest a little bit from the stats that you don't need as much either, right? Because I'm like, Your crit rate is a little bit shitty in the beginning as Dawn Warrior, right?
Yeah. I used to have crit rate on my emblem. Oh, I guess we go to WSC in that case for context on that.
Yeah.
But because I hit 3K Legion, I was able to re-roll my crit rate on it. And now it's an extra 9 strength, so it is an upgrade.
Yeah. Functionally, yeah. Until your Legion grows, and then you'd wish you had to crit again, so you could go into critical damage on the Legion grid.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna lose that 10% crit on the weapon as well at some point.
Yeah, I'm not excited.
No, so I mean, I think Invulnerability still has crit in it for now on the Dawn Warrior, but that's gonna change with the Legion artifact system, right?
Yeah. I think the Ben has added. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that's another reason why it'd be a good idea to work on the Legion now as well, so that when Legion Artifact comes out, you can immediately start capitalizing on that. And have that, like, somewhat set up.
I think I will hit, maybe... Yeah, I'll hit 6K before that update.
Yeah,
because it's so in advance.
Yeah.
Or it won't, because then Nexon releases that Dreamer is going to gut the meso rate, you know? I mean...
Yeah.
One of two things, you know? One of two things.
Well, that's probably another reason why 10 mil feels like a lot for you for one of those things, because your brain is probably still a little bit in interactive meso, right?
Yeah.
But that's basically like 2 mil, right? That is what you have to see it like. Because like one CRA crystal is 81 mil for us. So that's like... Expanding all of those slots is like less than 3 CRA crystals of 1 week.
Because whenever I see the... Yeah, no, exactly. That's the big thing. Because whenever I play on my main, and I kill, for example, Hard Dark Now, and I see a 80 mil crystal, I'm like, damn, that's just 1 CRA.
yeah, exactly. That's like 484, I think, for us. Yeah, it's a wild difference. Yeah. Yeah, CRA to a Hard Dark Now is kind of wild out. And that's also because the Korean meso... Their changes didn't go through, right? We just got like a flat increase. For them, I think Hard Dark Now, it was more like 600 or something, or 700, 800?
Yeah,
and then CRA was more like 35 or something, so that difference was way bigger for them, but for us it just multiplied that shit.
I mean, low-key, you know, if they ever did the meso changes for the power crystals, I wouldn't mind, you know, personally. I would appreciate a 2 billion meso Black Mage base, you know, that's like 10 bill for you guys, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we have it's 2.5, yeah, for hard Black Mage in the Rogue server now. It's nice, even if you duo it, nice and fast run, 1.25 bill, easy. I mean, it's still a monthly though, so that's also why it's so high. But yeah, some of the other ones are pretty nice. But yeah, Hard Vihela, Hard Dark Now, those are really nice money makers for sure.
Yeah, I think I'll buy.
Go for it.
I think I'm going to buy the slots. It's probably a worthwhile investment. I just have to be bad. Yeah. I think this shows up because I get meso so easily on heroic servers that I like zeroing out every week.
Okay.
Because I know there's no shining Star Wars anytime soon. So I've been buying a lot of cubes and just having fun rolling cubes because I'm thinking, yeah, I can't do that normally.
Well, it is possible that there is one soonish. Because the Korean version of the Minar Picnic update had one, like out of turn, and that's our next update. So it is possible that they throw it into the Sunny Sundays, but it's also possible that they are like, it's too close to the summer anyway, which will most likely have one, so that they postpone that. But I think there'll be a 5, 10, 15 in the next batch, or so either the Shining or a 5, 10, 15, I think. But I mean, yeah, cubing is definitely something you can do off event. But if the meso changes do go through, I think the pressure will be even more on Star Forcing than it is now. But of course, if you don't have the backups anyway for when an event comes, then there's no real point in saving too much money, and going for the potentials is you know, makes more sense. Club is 461, yeah.
Yeah, those characters are insane.
Yeah, 552 mil for Hard Vihela, yeah. Normal Kalos is a bill.
Straight up, if you kill Hard Saren and just Hard Saren by yourself, that basically makes all my power crystal money in a single
it's like
box.
all of your stuff on a week, yeah. Yeah, I do 2 of them with like 4 mans, and that's still 380 mil and 2 crystals. Let's see what brings in the most. Oh yeah, 6 hard Vihilas, 2 point. But there's some split in there as well, but that's 2.3 bill. If I get all my bosses in, it's like 27.5 bill a week. Yeah, it's not really.
I'm still doing
Sorry?
Yeah. Still doing Maple Tours because I feel like all the money, seeing 400 mil stipends every week, I'm just thinking, man, this is great. This is great.
You're doing the bonus ones or just the basic ones?
I mean, I'm not trying to, give money to next on your hashtag don't spend, but
yeah.
If push comes to shove, I've considered it every day. Just a little.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, I did for a while with the bonus Maple points I had. It's just that once I got to the point where I had so many bossing mules available, then I started mathing out like how much time does it take to actually do the runs and add all that up together versus how much time would it take to do that one bossing mule that I wasn't doing. And it came out to be about as efficient time-wise, but it wouldn't cost me any Maple points. So I came to the conclusion that it doesn't make any sense to do the extra runs at least in Maple Tour if I'm not already maxing out on all of my crystals. So I'm prioritizing that instead.
Okay.
Because it was like half an hour, if it's like a few minutes a day, but then you do it the whole week, it ends up being half an hour anyway. So then you might as well do a bossing mule 1/2 hour, 1 clump, right?
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so that's what I would do for Legion. And I think that'll give you a solid foundation for the artifact system and everything. And yeah, even if you have like a whole bunch built out to anywhere from like 70 to 100 to 120 to 140, anywhere between there, and then the changes come, you can still kind of back out without, having like major investment. Of course, you invest some time, but it's not like you built like an 8.5k Legion or something. It's just like the jump from here to 6 is pretty small, but the jump from 6 to 8 is considerable, and the jump from like 9.3 to 9.5 or to 10 in Scania is like astronomically bigger, right? So to try to contextualize those numbers, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not Sacrix over here. I'm not trying to hit 250 on all 40.
You're not? Oh, disappointed, bro. You gotta go 260 on all of them, honestly. Get all the 6 jobs.
Yeah, true. You're right. How can I forget?
Unlock all the origins, charge all those stones. Oh, God.
So, I mean, I know which Legion links are good, but can you scroll down a little bit to see what I have right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, you just take whatever you have, right? Oh, did I scroll past it?
Yeah, scroll past it.
Oh, here. It's above it. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so that's what I have currently. I'm trying to think of which bossing one to get next. Because Thief takes 3 characters, and 3 is too many. That's 3 too many.
Yeah.
I thought it was Xenon, but I know that gets replaced later on. And it's just been hard to gauge what I actually need. Because I'm still using Adele, because Adele's not that bad for pubbing. I always have at least 12% for the first mid in the boss. I have the level 2 Archer because I have nothing else that gives anything bossing-wise besides that. And I'm still using the 0-1, but I'm swapping the 0-1 for the Cadena now that I have it.
Yeah. I don't have the Lumi one either, right?
Yeah, no Lumi. So I've just been thinking, do I go for Luminous, the 3 Thieves, or Xenon? Because I think only one of them get replaced, right? Lumia and Xenon both get replaced?
Lumi tends to not get replaced. What goes out? Like Keen Edge, Rin's, Archer? Those go out typically. And then like Cadena goes in, Lumi goes in, and usually then it's like between Thief, between Kane, between something survivability.
Oh wait, yeah, maybe Kane actually.
Those are always like, but I'm not a huge fan of like Kane slash Thief unless you're like very deep in and you're like min-maxing, because you know like exactly what you're doing kind of thing. And like throwing it into the calculations. So usually I just go by like the links command and just kind of like just start from the left and see whatever is stats that you need. And as long as you pick up the ones that you need, then you just move on to the next one. You just have a different priority in mind, whether you're going for a mobbing setup or a bossing setup. So if it's a mobbing setup, you basically take like all of the yellow ones right? And then maybe some of the green ones, right? Depending on what character you're in. And if you're bossing, it's more like the first 2 categories, and then this one, like the damage to all monsters, and then mostly like the blue stuff, essentially. And then you can fill in with whatever is in the red area if you don't have anything yet. But if you go by the general order in the first column, then you will build up first like your solid monster killing potential, and then right after that you'll work into like the utility, and then go right into like all of the bossing stuff, so that once the bossing mules come online, they'll have all of the links available immediately as well. And it won't be perfectly best in slot like straight down for like what is the best bossing for your main, but by working on this stuff first, you can level all of the characters faster, so that eventually when you get to the characters that are in the blue area, they can level up faster, and then eventually get you to the finish line faster. Kind of like the snowball theory, right?
So should I get the Ho Young link next then, in that case?
So Ho Young is I think for mobbing, especially if you can if you're like keeping up on one-shotting, is nice. It'll help new characters stay one-shotting for quite a bit more, because it's a considerable amount of percentage damage early on. And it can help a little bit in the IED if you still need that, and then you can switch it out later if you don't need it. So I would just honestly, if you just follow this order in general, you can never really go wrong. Maybe sometimes, like I said, like maybe it won't be optimized exactly for what gives you the best final damage in your main in that moment, but it'll help you get to 6k faster, and that'll increase your damage as well, because Legion, it's not just the link skills, also the member bonus and everything, and the grid bonus, right?
Yeah.
Plus Ho Young is really strong and really fast, so you can never really go wrong with that one. You get very easy levels for the Legion as well.
Yeah, but it does have a required pre-quest, right? And that's been the real gatekeeping for me.
That's if you're making all of the characters, you add all of the pre-quest timers up, it is quite a bit. Especially if you want to... I think for Ho Young you can leave early, but if you want that Nimbus Cloud for the mobility, you'll have to finish like the whole storyline. But I think like halfway through or something, you can dip and come back later if you want to. Kind of like with Adele as well, where it has the storyline, and then it has more storyline to max out the passive, right? With the I think it's percentage attack and critical damage or something. But you could also just go do a bunch of other stuff and then come back later to finish it off. Which I like that more. Well, yeah, ideally it's something where you could just opt in or opt out of the early quest. It's pretty good for very new beginners, because you can just basically get guided up to level 30 without having to figure anything out, right? But if you know what you're doing, then yeah, you don't want to be kept by the hand the whole time. It's like, just let me go play outside,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah, the no opt-outing on some of the characters is a little much, yeah.
Yeah, get me the fuck out of Shangri-La. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
You did the Kinesis is also like a lot of like the training areas and everything. You're like, oh god, please.
Yeah, listen, I want to visit South Korea, but not in the game, like.
Yeah. It's almost like a VR tour or something.
I should have made a female one, because it would have been very funny getting the your reaction, because next time would never otherwise.
Wait, my reaction on a female Kinesis?
The fact that the female Kinesis has the exact same story that male Kinesis is very funny to me.
Oh, I don't really remember those things, but they're like specifically like gender linked stories that happen, or?
Well, because maybe I misunderstand Korea's politics, but I'll be surprised that they allowed a female-female relationship in the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. That's progressive, but I didn't expect Korea to be so progressive about that.
Ark and Albert were like really close too,
Yeah, they were roommates. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you have I think was it like female Ark doesn't have any cutscene or something? It's just like a blank page when you're doing the Abyssal Recall or something.
No, she has dementia. That's why canonically, if you're a female, she has dementia.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, she just wouldn't understand. It's just bros being bros.
Yeah, you're right.
She wouldn't get it.
All right, so I think my path of which one to want to do then.
Yeah, and then Legion Link will follow from that automatically. Once you have like 14 or 15 that are like good links, it'll be more obvious which ones, either you don't have all three, for a stacking one, or it'll be more obvious like this one is okay, but in this situation, the other one is just better, and then your presets will just automatically swap over.
Mm-hmm.
And Keen Edge will probably barely make it into like the mobbing setup. Yeah, probably. Be like the bottom one for the mobbing setup, I guess. But sadly, they're like alphabetically in here as well. So you can't really organize them by like how good they are, so you can always just take the bottom one away, so you'll always have to alphabetically have them in there now.
Yeah. Please ignore the fact that the zero link is level 3. I just did the ignore the fact that the level 3 link here.
Yeah.
It's level 200. Compared to level 200, it's a quest line.
I mean, if it gave like damage reduction to percentage HP or something, then for bossing for a lot of people it'd be in there. But yeah, it's flat HP and IED, so that gets overpowered really quickly. So leveling that up is really not that important. It's all about that Legion block, you know. Getting that EXP from the Legion block is infinitely more important than the link skill for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, WSE is looking good. You're working while you're doing C10A3, man, with a fucking fake Solab in a new server, so you're probably doing fine, I'm guessing. But once you upgrade this, it's gonna be a whole lot of damage increase.
I will say the flame is pretty good for fake Solab, so I can't even complain.
yeah, you want to hit something like that on Arcane, honestly. Wait, is it that's a tier 5 attack? Oh, dude, I always misread on Abzo because the flames are so bad compared to Abzo. I think it's a 564, right?
Let me check. I forgot if it's 5 or 6. It's one of them.
205 base. Yeah, it's 5. Yeah, ED2 would be a 6.
Yeah.
But it's only 19 attack, and it's not like one tier in Arcane is like 30 attack or something. It's like not even 20, so...
Yeah, and it's more relevant lines,
16% damage. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have 15 strength and 16% damage on bosses than 19 attack, I think, at this point. Although you have a lot of percentage attack, but yeah, depending on what you get on your weapon. Do you have single emblem, or do you have 2 emblems?
Only one.
Oh no, the emblem was from the Journey to 6-star, so you couldn't get it on Hyperion because the server didn't even exist during that event. Yeah, so there's nothing else that's come out since then. If there's something that comes out with that, then that would be really nice, right? Then you can just roll on the side, and you don't have to think about bright cubing ever. You can just kind of like use it as a side cubing project whenever you want to.
Oh man, I really need. Yeah. I don't want.
Yeah, or you get the Saren before then, but you know that's it could just drop, or it could never drop. So.
Or they add violet cubes to heroic servers. I'm just saying. Next time.
Yeah.
Like, you want to
How will you afford those though? If the Mesocat kind of violet, how much would they be?
You're a fool to think they'll let it be bought through Meso. I'm saying, Mr. Scardor.
I mean, for context, like if you have the Meso shop, right? The Eternal Flames are 250, and the Black Flames I think are 375 mil each.
Yeah.
So how much would a Violet Cube be with it in Meso? Like a bill each or something?
Probably, yeah. A bill each per cube. It might be worth
reasonable.
Oh
god. Or like 880, like the value of like 40 bright cubes for one. Ugh. How much are they in interactive? Like 30 bucks for 10 or something? No, the violets. Whenever
violets? They're like $3 each, yeah.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's like 3 cubes or a meal, you know? It's like like 4 cubes or a decently sized pizza. It's like those are some decisions that you need to make. But yeah, you know what to do with WC, right? I mean, obviously got a super solid secondary, better than any secondary on my whole account already, so we're holding on to that for a while. Weapon, all that good stuff. Any other account-wide stuff? Familiars, you seem pretty well set up. You've got your IED, you've already got your badges, you know, all to do there. Are you going to go for epics on there?
I am going for epic. Try.
Yeah. Well, where your account is at now, it's difficult to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of passed
whatever daily familiars I get, I start shoving into one of them, right? cannibalize and hope for a decent roll. I've gotten 5 epics, nothing's crazy. The best I've seen is 2% death, so
wow, that's based. That's super important. It is there is, if you make like the equation right on the mathematics, and when it comes to the drops, especially if you are already doing C10 stuff, there is a large. If you're set up for damage now and you're kind of good, and you're going towards like setting up for black mage stuff, like in not even too long, right? If you're looking at how much damage you stand to gain from getting the weapon, and increased growth still from your V matrix and your Hexa matrix and your Legion that's still growing and all of that, the question is how much more do you really need to upgrade your gear now and your levels, versus if you are just would hunker down and really try to get that large drop rate ASAP, so that when you are really even slimming down the Tenebris parties even more, you can increase your chance of those drops. Because it's ring boxes as well, right? Is a huge one now that added a lot of value to drop rate. Do you have any drop rate, fam? Like just a small or medium?
Yeah,
one?
I have a medium. I have a medium one.
You have a medium one. Okay, so that's 50. That's still like 50% drop though, right? That's provided that hopefully it works linearly and all of that. We don't know the exact details, but it would be like an eighth of your drop bonus, while going from 100. Let's say you get to like plus 350 or something, right? So your total of like 400 versus your total of 350. So that's like 12.5% of your total drop rate extra.
Yeah.
That is still like a considerable. If you're looking at in terms of like playing for months or for a year, even up in a year, that's like, that's like a month and a half less time to reach something. So if you're in this for the long haul, which I think you are, might be worth taking a little step back once you realize, like, I have the damage and I'm in waiting rooms anyway, right? That you take a little step back, because you're only doing small projects probably as they come during events anyway, that it might make more sense to take a little step back. And it might suck, but you've got some additional Hexamatrix stuff going already, right?
Yeah. I've managed to be killed with 100 nodes from the what's it called, the battle pass, right? The check-in. I was able to get my Cosmos to 25. With the EXP notes, I believe I can get my Eclipse to 25 as well. I'll start working on that, but I've just been gatekept quickly. This is what I have.
Yeah, you can dump into the stats until then, because the more you get drop rate as well, I mean, the more fragments, and that's going to be the main value from your training past levels, past 270, is almost going to be more value in, like, there's good level in value in levels up to like 275, especially for like black mage and stuff, but a lot of it is like sacred power capped anyway, right? So yeah, the faster you get the levels, the faster you get those symbols, but it's not like if you get those symbols like 2 weeks earlier, that just means you can get to the boss only those 2 weeks earlier, not like months and months earlier. But if you get the drop rate faster, you get a lot of damage from getting extra fragments, from getting the rings, from getting possibly pitched, from getting arcane backup, so you don't have to buy those, which can be very expensive. And then you might be able to way more reliably tap arcanes up to like 19, and even just 17 to 19 arcanes is like a huge gain that you want to be able to be funded by just spare drops and not having to make anything. That gets too pricey. That money you want to go into like 21ing CRA and potentially 22ing and getting your superior up and that stuff. So I would say, since you seem pretty well set up to already do the harder bosses even without the arcane weapon, since the arcane weapon would give you such a huge damage increase compared to what you have now, I would say I would advise to really go a bit harder on the epic fams and try to get that large drop in. And then once you have that, then basically you can just tune that out completely until you're at like, past 280 or something, and then you can always go back for bossing fams if you need to, because by then, everything else will be so built up that now you're like deciding, do I go for like 22 arcanes, or do I just, at that point you're probably going to be like on the generation of people who probably don't make 22 arcanes anymore. You're probably going to sit on 21s and go into Eternals. I mean, that'll probably be the realistic way to go, honestly. because you won't need that damage, you know.
Yeah, I think after I hit 270, I'm at 85%, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
At 269. Once at 270, I think I will do what you said and start working on familiars.
Yeah, 270 is good.
275 is one.
Yeah, because they'll slow down anyway, and then you're mainly going to do dailies and work some more on your Legion, and you're dividing your time between 2 servers already anyway. And you're going to start like Black Mage practice and stuff. You might not hit your damage immediately, because if you're like 40k with the weapon that you have, it's probably going to be pretty close. Have you done a BA recently?
I have not, because I'm still gaining relatively good gains. Once I start slowing down to a halt, because I'm going to get the odium symbol as well, and that's an extra 500 strength, so I don't want to start BA too soon.
Odium symbol and unlock your both of your boost nodes in the Hexa Matrix, right? Yeah, just those 2 skills, an extra 11% final damage immediately on unlock will be pretty nice. Otherwise, the Hexa Matrix is already looking really clean, so that's really good. But yeah, the V Matrix is looking pretty good. You like leveling your hyper body? I guess you really only have 2 boost nodes. Yeah, damn.
I kind of regret actually. I was like, oh, plus 5 strength. Don't mind if I do. Realized that if I dismissed, I would have been done with my V Matrix by now.
Yeah, so I like to, in general, for the progress, not level the decent skills except for Holy Symbol, basically. Just keep them at 1 and extract the ones you really don't need, like Door and that kind of stuff. Even if it's just temporarily, because, yeah, you can level up your skill nodes faster, and also you can start moving nodes into your bossing mules faster and start getting them online and start making more money for your account. And then if you want to, eventually, you can always max them out later once you have like hundreds and thousands of nodes to hundreds, comma, and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, of nodes spare, and then you can still max them out for, you know, extra bonus stats if you want to. Because what I also think is going to be more likely is that because of the extra mastery nodes that come out in 6th job, that you're going to have to go back and level extra boost nodes in the V Matrix to be able to unlock them. I think that's going to happen, and I think that's why they gave us these slots in the V Matrix, is because I think every single class is going to have to equip at least 4 boost nodes, or probably up to 6, once all of the Hexa Matrix stats, the Hexa mastery nodes are unlocked. So it's going to cut into the slots, I believe. But it's more like an efficiency with... because it already is 100% uptime, right, on the decent skills even at level 1. So it's more like being able to kind of quote-unquote be done with your Hexa Matrix faster so that the bossing mules can start coming online with the nodes, I guess. Because it is, like you said, it is a pretty limited resource, and it feels even more limited because of how quickly you get pushed through the game.
Yeah, I'm just used to having... you know, the auction house, so and having a
buy
5K
nodes,
and just everything 25 now.
like 25 mil, and oh god, yeah. Sometimes I just go into the auction house just to check, just to look, you know, just a window shop and be like, wow, that is wild, just to see how different that is. This super limited resource, or just like the regular droplets, even before, you know, we could buy them. I just look at these stacks and stacks and stacks of droplets, so you could just be like, boom, and then just make things. Because people sell like weapon service, right? Like people buy the droplets and then give it to someone who has the lucid droplets or something, and they turn it into a weapon and then sell it back, basically.
I see Klopney saying, not all classes use 6 boost nodes. Damn. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I had to make an extra one on my arc because there was one mastery node that had 1 skill in it that I didn't max. Because it's not really important, it's more of a movement skill. So I had it setting more as a half max. That way I needed one whole... it saved me one whole inventory space, essentially.
Yeah.
So, but I had to make an extra one now to be able to even equip the mastery node so that all of the skills within it were at least level 40? Level 40, right? Yeah. So I think that's going to happen to most classes, yeah.
Mr. Streamer, I see you opened up Mushroom Shrine. Should I start working on that pre-quest?
It is useful. I mean, if you find that you do have those blocks of like half an hour, I usually do like a very, very rudimentary setup. So I have it under Threads of Fate, but it's like, because I guess in in the interactive servers, you also just buy them as like stacks in the auction house. Yeah, you'll have to make them yourself. In the beginning, I would just like harvest all the big flowers that I saw, and it would kind of be enough with how little I train. The EXP ones, you probably get a decent amount of those, I'm guessing, with all the bossing you're doing.
Oh yeah, I have plenty of the small EXPs.
Yeah, so the WAP ones are really nice because it's multiplicative for mesos. So like my meso percentage in my window without it on is like 1428, I think. And with the WAP on is like 1709 or something. So just like the mesoptane in general with it goes up a lot. And especially if you're, not really settled into the bossing mules yet, that's very nice. And then just like the familiar, you are playing drop rate story for quite a while. So the faster you get that rolling, it'll also take a little bit of pressure off of your Legion coins, that if you're a little bit lower there, but you still have a WAP, that compensates a little bit, right? So I would say just the basic setup of Threads of Fate, just unlock 2 characters, very much like my Demon Avenger has, right? In my arc, unlocked a whole bunch more, but you just unlock 2 characters, and where can I, here, yeah. Just unlock 2 characters that you build, and just kind of like ping pong between the 2 as you're building up their closeness. Just do the ask. This guy wants, I think, level 6 potions, which you can grab very easily. Or level 4. That's a 4, right? Yeah. So the defense potions are super easy to make by the hundreds.
Yeah, but I dropped them all.
I should have you should have some other materials lying around, right?
Okay. Yeah. I do pick up cool flowers.
Yeah. Then it doesn't take that long, and she takes I think I feed her like regular elixirs. I think she even takes like white potions or something. So they're really low maintenance too.
Yeah.
It could just take a while, the sooner you build it up. Sometimes it takes a week or 2 of just resetting until you get the right ask that you want. Once you get the right ask, write it on a post-it and paste it somewhere on your wall so you don't forget. Because if you're doing it for a while, you don't forget, but then if you come back to it later, you might forget who has what, or click the wrong one and then reset it, and then that's just unfortunate, Do you know how the whole system works with the resetting?
I saw another YouTuber give a guide on it. But then I immediately closed the guide because it says like a 2-hour process or whatever. It's a long request, and it was a stretch to make me actually do Haven. I was at 9k stack, could clearly do normal Lotus solo. I was like 8 or 9k, but I just refused to do the pre-quest because it was so long.
That is an investment.
Like David's only the final act, and that was easy to do. But Lotus was a whole endeavor to go through.
Yep. Yeah, Damien is like, what? Is it even 20 minutes? It's less than that, right?
Yeah, it's like less than 20.
And then comparatively, Lotus is a whole bunch. But yeah, I mean, at least it's account-wide. It's always been account-wide at least, right? So it's a big investment. But if you look at it, if you're leveling up 2 Legion Mules up to like a 140, that's probably longer. And how much value does that give your account versus access to Absolab? It's all just part of the giant pile of things you kind of have to do, sadly. There's a lot of that in this game. But yeah, it's basically the first character you talk to after the day resets will reset whatever their ask is. So there's only 2 asks that are the ones that you're looking for. So one is gathering herbs, and the other one is chopping wood. So as long as that is in the ask, then you'll get the bags at the end, as long as you don't CC while the half hour is running. So that's why I'm doing it now, because I'm standing still in town map, so there's nothing else to do. But if you CC,
then... my time and all,
yeah, exactly. But so right after reset, just make sure you talk to the character that you know is not the one that has the right ask. Reset it, log out, log back in, and then talk to the person who does have it.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
If you do that like for a little bit, you'll like be like just shitting WAPs all over the place. So you'll have more than enough really, really quickly. Like on average, you get like, I think is it half an oil per bag on average or something? So if you full ask, it's 20 bags, so that's on average like 10 oils. But it builds up very quickly because you could do 100 a day. So you have to get 50 oils. That's already a whole bunch of crafts for a whole lot of potions. Small ones, yeah. And a small craft is nice because you're doing some bosses. You can just sneak one in, and you don't have to do the whole 2-hour thing. Yeah.
Okay.
From Gold Flowers. I never touched Threads of Fate. I did it for a long time, but it was mostly once I started getting into doing all the totems back when we had those. That's when I started running out. And then after that was once I started doing a lot of boss mules and wanting to have them on for bossing mules and higher level bosses where you want to make sure that you're maximizing your drop. Then it started getting dicier and dicier to have enough.
I think I have about 100-ish berry seeds from Gold Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I should start Threads of Fate soon, or is that like okay as I don't Fortnite? Because I'm thinking of when I do Threads of Fate, I would need a lot of berry seeds, and I don't know if that's considered a low amount yet. Like a couple hundred.
Yeah, so the oil, if you open a bag, it gives you straight up oils. So that's already the refined ones, and you need the 6 seeds to refine to 1 oil, and then there's like a 10% chance that it fails and turns into purple powder. So if you have 100, that's like 16 attempts, so probably 1 or 2 of that is going to fail, so you're going to end up with 14 or 15 oils. So that would be the same as like 2 full asks. So that would be like an hour of asks on 1 day, basically.
Wow.
So in terms of like, yeah, in terms of like once you've got Threads of Fate set up with the fullness and you got the right ask, it just makes harvesting like a huge waste of time. The only benefit that harvesting has definitely in the beginning is that you have a small chance for primals on the higher level stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which can help you with the mice. But once you're doing those higher level bosses, you probably see a decent amount of primals as well. So the value there for the harvesting just goes way down. Just like as materials maybe on mules, so you can level up the alchemy there more quickly or something like that, right? Just to slam that out. But yeah, other than that, you can scale off of that really quickly.
Okay.
All of meta is down. RIP. Still weird that it's called Meta instead of Facebook. It's such a weird name to me.
I mean, it's run by a lizard guy, so Meta sounds like a very appropriate name.
I swear when he blinks, it goes like sideways instead of he doesn't blink like this, he blinks like that. It's got like the sliver eyes.
Wait, so is he a robot or a lizard? I forgot what the lore is.
Robot lizard, I think. Robot lizard.
Robot lizard? Okay.
Zombie. Robot lizard zombie.
Okay.
Nazi. No, not that last one.
Yeah, for legal reasons, that's a joke. Yeah.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. A space robot lizard zombie. There you go.
Yeah.
That VR though looks insane. Like how? Did you see the last VR stuff? He did that interview with the podcast dude. They both had the VR on, and they just showed like the image of what the VR goggles basically recognize their faces as, and it's like past the uncanny valley, you know, where it's like it looks so realistic that it looks off, that it actually looks creepy. It's so realistic past that it actually just looks like them, basically. Just not doing as many. The facial, the emotions are just not as legible on the face, but it's not in a creepy way. Just like they're looking a bit more neutral. It's actually crazy how realistic it is.
It probably is realistic because it's Zuckerberg, and he doesn't really have emotion to begin with. I don't know how it will compare against like a real human.
It's like smile. It's like I am smiling. His mouth just doesn't move.
Yeah.
The corners go up like 1 millimeter. Like.
Yeah. Alright, so that's a Matrix, Legion. Do you think of my gear?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I should still be cubing? Because I don't have awesome mules. I still have a long way to go otherwise. So like these are my gears.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my stuff is two-lined, and I'm just thinking about whether or not it's worthwhile to start. Because like I said, I'm just for fun because using cubes is fun and all.
Yeah.
Zeroing out. And I'm thinking, am I wasting all my money?
Well, at a certain point you will be. I don't know if there are any potentials. So what I'd be mainly looking at, because you're looking at maybe because if you're going at 270, right, you're going a little bit more higher on the familiars. Your income from your grinding is gonna come to a screeching halt, and it's mostly gonna be bossing mules and daily income, and just bossing in general and daily income for a bit until you hit that large drop. So it might be a good idea to be a little bit more conservative with your spending in that sense, so that whenever an arcane pops up, you have the money to go into that right when you get it, rather than min-maxing like past the 2 line for now. Is probably what I would advise. Like you past the WSE, it's basically gloves and heart really that you're looking at, right? And once those are good, everything else is just loses a lot of efficiency, except for you know, getting a drop in your meso set completed. But since you know more about the game, I'm assuming you're already pretty far with that.
Yeah, my meso I believe is 60 or 80%. It's one of those numbers. And I'm trying to get 100. It just whenever I roll, I keep getting item drop. I almost
or stat, I guess. I see the condensed power crystal on 27% strength.
I had to roll off. I had a drop rate on my Golix ring.
Yeah.
I still had drop rate on my Golix earring.
Yeah, but it was 121. Yeah, I have a 21 Twilight mark on one of my characters. I had like 20 meso and then 21 drop on the bottom 2 lines. I'm like, you know, sometimes it just happens. You know.
Yeah, it used to be a 12 strength. Used to be 12 strength, 20 drop Golix ring, and it hurt so much to re-roll over it because I was thinking I need the damage.
Yeah, it's honestly fine, but you need the damage because your weapon is basically a level 175 weapon, and you're almost 275, right? Like your weapon is like 100 levels behind on how much damage it won't be giving to you.
Yeah.
Like if you were at this level in interactive servers with this weapon, like like it'd be impossible to even consider that, right?
Yeah, they got the whole squad laughing at that point. Like,
yeah, it's like, are you using Abzo? It's like, oh no, it's Anvil. Trust.
Yeah.
As soon if the changes come in Dreamer and people can just like click on you and see your items and be exposed.
Yeah, if I was to use a fake slot for that long, I would buy a fusion anvil, pick up like a random, I don't know, Orca whale, like Orca buddy from Auction House.
Yeah. A completely ruined origin or a completely ruined Genesis weapon, right? And then just give it the look of a Genesis. Be like, oh no, I'm already living. Trust.
I don't want to hear shit from you, Richard. 14-star suffering. I don't want to hear shit from you. I tried, man. I tried.
But yeah, so the reason you needed that damage on the accessories is because you were pushing that quickly with this weapon, right? Otherwise, it would be fine to hold drop and meso a little bit longer, even into superior, until you have the other pieces that can pick up the percentages and then re-roll them. That's fine. Just make sure you get the drop and the meso stuff done before like any of the other projects. It's just like getting the drop rate from the FAMs before you go like super hard on trying to min-max your 6th. In the same way, you want to get a drop in meso gear completely done before you go super hard on the you know, on star forcing past 19 and everything like that, and on trying to 3-line your potentials, because you'll get there in the beginning. You'll get there faster a little bit, but you'll get when you get past that tipping point of the efficiency of the drop in the meso gear, then you'll just the finish line will be further away, just like with the Legion as well, right? Like, you can go for what is the best final damage right now for your main, or you could go for a character that makes every single character that you build in the Legion after that like 10% faster. And that's going to make it so that once you do 11 characters, you will have caught up and then surpassed the person who does it in a different way, if you're in it for the long haul.
Got it.
So it'd be the same here. So try to make that... So if you're cubing, I would cube for a set of... try to make a set that has 100% meso and as much drop as possible. So for you, that'd be a 10 and 5 set, because you've got one double line. Or one hybrid, I should say.
Yeah, one hybrid.
Yeah, so if you can get a 10 and 5 set, that would be a good goal. Sorry, 10 and 5. 5 and 5 set. So 5 line meso, 5 line drop. And if you want to go further beyond that, you could go for a set of 10 lines of drop. So you can max out on boxes for bosses, essentially.
So do you think I should, sorry, you go.
Or, you know, because a meso and drop combination set would be nice if you're actively training around your level. But if you're specifically going for familiars and the meso is already lower, then a 10 line drop set would also give you more FAMs and get you out of there faster. So that you can move into the area where you can also start making meso and drops at the same time instead.
Yeah.
So,
I was saying, I have some legendary gears. So you're saying it's worth it to try to roll those and just like ignore damage for now.
Yeah, because it'll be for opening boxes or training in low-level areas. So you'll be one-shotting out the ass anyway because you're Dawn Warrior as well, right? Like everything hits like a bunch of lines, so everything just dies. So yeah, I would say so. I got that like sorted, and then make sure you have enough money available that if an event comes around, you can pick up whatever arcane you don't have yet. Because you have the shoulder, right? The shoulder can start coming in.
Yeah, but they refuse to gain stars
tier up?
during their turn up.
Or just
And also to tier up. The boot went, but the shoulder refused to tier up or go anywhere.
It wasn't going anywhere. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes they're
just.
Yeah, hard-headed.
Yeah, I had 8 bill during thirds and off, and that 14-star Gullet Shrink took 2 bill to get 14 stars.
To get to 14. And then just failed the whole bunch at 15, or...
Yeah, so I just gave up. I switched to the arcades.
Yeah, sometimes it's better. Yeah, and up to 15 you don't really feel the gains, but like once you get past 15 you immediately see a big difference, right? You look at the bonus stats on your glove, for example, and your cape, that's plus 70, plus 25 versus plus 40, plus 0. That's a rough difference, right? Whereas in money, it can be kind of close. If you get a little bit unlucky in 13, 14, then it can be almost the same money compared to getting decently lucky during a 5, 10, 15, because, maybe you only have to tap once or twice at 16, and then you're golden. Yeah. So yeah, make sure that those projects for Star Forcing you can capitalize on them as soon as you get them. And for cubing, I would mostly go into like accessories and get those sets completed. And then 270, work on FEMs, start BM practice. And when they say you don't have enough BA, say, well, that's with a fake lab weapon, and it'd be like, oh shit, okay. And then once you get the practice more down and basically the runs are good. I mean, I would consider buying a weapon if you just don't get a drop at all, because it seems like you have, except for the, no, you have the shoe, yeah. You basically you have all the pieces, right? You have the shoulder, so you just need the weapon.
Yeah, I actually got another armor box.
Well, that's really good for during an event, during a Star Force event, because then you can use it as a universal backup if it was soon. So that's something that you probably can't do now because we're a little bit too far away from an event. But for later, if you do have a box and there's an event soon, you can just basically freely tap your arcanes one at a time. And then only if something booms, you have to open up the box. So there's a lot of value in that potentially. If you have, an account with like 100 bill lying around, you can even do that off event, but it is pretty pricey. I did that on did it on one of my characters, and it just 55 bill, I think. But I did get 3 items to 19, and then the 4th one boomed. But that is 6 stars, gained, but yeah, it's pricey.
One of my guildies who I run consistently with the C10 bosses, like join the pubs, he got his 3rd weapon box. And I got an additional armor box, and I was like, why?
Trade!
Why does this happen?
Trade! Yeah.
Why does this always happen?
Well, you've got like 5 of those then, right? That's about worth 3 weapon boxes? The weapon box is like double, right? So if you could change 2 armor boxes for 1 weapon box, that'd be a good trade, yeah. Yeah, my hero ended up with like 7 weapons or something. And like a total of like 12 armors or something like that, yeah. Some characters just to get it.
And if you saw it, yeah.
9 backup weapons and no armors. Yeah, I thought Richard had like only weapons, yeah. Oh well. That just means you get a 21-star weapon, Richard. And then you just buy the armor backups eventually once they come to mind. But you can push, yeah. And that's kind of like the stage that you're in. Like once you're past that point, you got like all the arcanes in, you've got your drop rate meso set, completed, and you got your CRA to 21. Basically, whatever you work on after that just depends on where you have the backups. If you have a bunch of belts, then you can work on that. If you have a bunch of earrings, you can work on that. If you have a bunch of rings, you can work on that. But like the RNG in the game will just show you what makes sense for your account to work on next.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the backups on the accessory section.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I believe, 8 Dominators. Yeah, I have 8 Dominators. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I should use them to transfer hammer to a superior pendant, or actually try to hit a, say, 22 or 21 Dominator, because I've not seen a daybreak. And by not saying I've lost every blink where a neighbor dropped.
I see. I've seen them being looted in front of my eyes, kind of situation. Yeah. If you're gonna transfer hammer, so yeah, I wouldn't go super hard on any of the potentials of the items that you might transfer hammer on, right? So like your superior. So I think their pots are great, so you're not too high. If you're gonna transfer hammer, I would always use an item as itself before transferring, because for transferring you lose a star, so you do lose value that you've already invested. So if you were to say like I want to make a, did you say 21 Dominator, or would you go 22?
Yeah, or well, it's a 140, so it's not expensive to Star Force, but I don't know if I can hit 22 in 8 backups. It's likely, but I don't want to push my luck and say 22.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you make your first 21, so whether that is a Dominator or a kind of treasure, right, in the case of your Gollux ring, it would make more sense to just use that as the 21, because in both of those cases, you can use them together with the superior. And then if you still have backups and you make a second one, then I would transfer the second one over.
Okay.
Because again, the first situation you'll have like, for example, for the pendants, right? You might have like a 17 Dominator and a 17 superior. If you upgrade that to a 21 Dominator and a 17 superior, that's better than keeping a 17 Dominator and a 20 superior. Like that extra star is always going to be a little bit more than the bonus stats you get for the one item level higher extra stats from the enhancement, basically.
On Dominator, because my 2-man Blue Will says I'm getting Twilight Mark because here I got his drop. If I get Slime Ring and Twilight Mark, I do not care about Daybreak, right? Like 3 sets bad, if I remember correctly, for the boss.
Yeah, the set bonus loses a lot of value, but if you do go for a 21 Dominator and you get a Daybreak and you can tap the Daybreak, that means at that point you could just transfer your Dominator into the superior and use the Daybreak on the superior. So then you have that as a contingency, basically.
Okay.
And remember with the with the E-ring, with the ring and the pendant, it's always pretty straightforward because you don't want to have to buy backups. But with the E-ring and with the belt, what you can do, depending on your situation, is if you get enough backups by the time the project comes around, you can just tap on the item. If you only have like 1 or 2 backups, what I like to do is transfer into a clean one and then try to tap that one to 21. That way you can risk the 20 to 21 tap, which is monetarily kind of like the middle ground, right? You either have like 22 into 21 or 21 into 20, but then the risk of tapping up. So I like to do that on a second item, and then if it goes, you can switch functionality, and if it doesn't go, you can keep your current one, but then at least you don't have to re-tap your current one to 17, so you gain that money.
Yeah. I've been thinking of double tapping, where hammer 21 and then try 2021.
Yeah.
Because hitting 22 is a coin flip, and I always hit tails. So.
Well, the way you want to think about it is it easier to hit 20 to 21 twice, or 20 to 22 once? And the answer is like the first one is always easier. So if it's something that is just like the only one where you want to do it the other way is basically if it's or not the other way, but where you want to take even less risk, would be like a source or something. Like then I would totally give people like the green light to just, I'm only transferring 22 superiors in. If I lose a tap, I'm just re-tapping a 22 superior just in there, even if that takes a while, because I don't think it's worth taking that risk ever. Unless if you get it like super duper early maybe, but then I just want to sit on the item. That's why you're basically never done with Helix, because you want to keep those coins coming because you need backups. And it was really, and this is, I guess, another big value of Chronos over Hyperion, is like our old accounts had anywhere from like 8 to 10 backup pendants, right? Because back in the day, Helix used to drop the pendants. So for the source transferring, that's super beneficial, because then you don't have to dig into your coins. Plus, do you buy 1 extra? Do you buy 2? Do you buy 3? Does it start cutting into your backups for superior rings, right? Like, there's way more decisions that you need to be making there. So if you had an old account and you had like 6,000 coins on like 8 backup superiors, you were just chilling in the resources. So I guess in interactive as well, right? You could, because you could just sell them. Yeah,
I remember in old days, I would recreate characters. Because the one-time buy superior ring.
Yeah.
And those things will go for literal billions because people would blow them up and they cannot get a new one besides the auction house.
Oh, yeah. And like Connor treasure rings probably as well, like way back then, right? When you were just
those are. Yeah, the next one thought ahead and made them permanently tradable. So
oh yeah.
You could not trade.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the horror stories where people would get to 140, do the no pre-quest, get the ring, and just see if they can main the character by 22ing or something.
Yeah,
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, when we had when Adele came out, that was still the case. So there was the guy who wanted to be like rank 1 Adele. What he did was do that, and then try to tap the ring to 22. And if it boomed, he would just remake his character. And I think it. Yeah, Jando. Yeah, I think on his third character it went to 22, and he ended up only being like a few levels behind like the highest level people, or he ended up catching up to them eventually. But then he had a 22 ring. But yeah, he had to min max like that. Eventually, of course, yeah. Now it's a completely different ball game, but. Yeah. That was honestly, like, with the information that we had at that time, that was the best strat to go. Because he wanted to hardcore main it, he wanted to get to endgame. Why give up that chance of that 1 extra star? Because comparatively to getting into endgame, that was a pretty small investment in the beginning, honestly. It was a lot of money, though, for back then to just, like, tap a... It's like, you know, starting off a 0 and being like, oh, it's technically a little bit cheaper, you know, if you do your weapon first and just tapping a 22 weapon on a character that you might not even main. Like, if you know you're going to main it, it's a big investment up front, but then, you know, you can get a 22 arcane immediately once you get into that area. And then when you get your, when you liberate, it transfers over your flame and your potential, so it's immediately done. So that's also a really nice bonus of 0.
I love watching Exterior around like Steve. Because when in interactive servers, there's level flames.
Yeah.
And when he remade a 0 because Neighbor ended, he spent like a 2-hour stream just using level flames as soon as he made the 0.
Yeah, like the little purple ones and stuff.
Yeah.
They drop from like normal Zakum and shit.
Yeah, all the bosses. Yeah, all the dailies drop at 100 to 150 level flames. So he spent literal hours just flaming them, getting like plus 10 strength, plus because it's not flame advantage, right? So.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. Yeah, you're looking for that. You're looking to hit attack, and then you're hitting tier 5 at like 1% chance until you hit that. Yeah, was he looking for tier 5 or tier 5 plus something?
I don't even think the level flames have a tier 5. I don't even know what level flames do.
Well, I think tier 4 is usually the highest, but you have like the higher quality ones have like 1% chance of hitting a tier 5 usually. That's the holy grail. Like on a Kaiserium, that's also like what you're going for.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to T5, but it's like with those flames, those shitty flames. I think they're kind of dead content now. Yeah.
Well, and like in Reboot, like those flames don't even exist, so that part of like the cost saving is not even that's not a thing for us. The only thing is like if you blow up your item after you make it into an Abzo weapon, then every single time you want to like get it back, if it's boomed, then you have to have the item to make it into an Abzo weapon every single time. So it makes more sense to do it with on a lower quality, whatever is the quality of Utgard, right? Because then it's just like recreate instantly. Yeah.
I was considering just tapping my 0 to maybe like 20 stars, just because the damage is so bad for early grinding. Yeah. But then thankfully but then New Age had the weekly the EXP farm thing. So I was able to get to 200 without having to get much damage, thankfully.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing that they added as well. It's not that there's like that many more things that give EXP, but it's also the things that give EXP make it so that your characters require no funding whatsoever. So you don't have to go balls deep into every character to make sure that they can... You don't have to find a map, you don't have to teleport over there, you don't have to... It's just a little... All of those things combined just make the whole process a lot less tedious.
I do kind of regret that a little bit. My Mercedes kept dying in the New Age EXP thing.
Damn. Yeah, maybe a little bit of funding.
Like I had no potions, no potions, nothing. I would pop Rakala's Wrath and like burst, and then die after bursting because they just touched me once and lost 90% of my health.
I still think there's some old calculations in the game where, if I feel it used to be the case that if you were level 100 and you're wearing equips for level 100, and your defense was like 1,000. then you would take less damage than if you were level 200 and you were wearing level 100 gear and your defense was also 1,000. There would be like a multiplier of losing your efficiency of your defense if your armor level, or if there was a big difference in armor level and character level. I think that still exists as well. So if you're like, level 180 or something and you're wearing like level 80 gear, I think you get hit harder than if you're wearing like level 140 or level 150 gear.
And then this was at a 200 plus. I was trying to hit level 3 Mercedes one.
Yeah, so you're just getting like knocked. Yeah, you're getting knocked out. That entire HP bar is just like getting decimated.
It was kind of funny though.
That's what it was like back in the game, right? We would just train.
Yeah.
Sometimes Night Lords would like snipe in, or like marksmen, they would like snipe in areas where you just get one shot if the monster got a single magic attack off.
Yeah, I respect the sprout potions that they give you, when because that doesn't exist. And the reboot potion, they give 1,000 HP and MP.
Yeah, that's relevant for like 2 seconds. If you have a built-out Legion, it's not even relevant at level 1, right? Because your Legion HP already takes you so far that it's like 1,000. Like I need to take 6 of these to level at level to full HP at level 2. The biggest recovery you get early on is just leveling. Like every time you level, you get full. Like those are your potions in the beginning. For a while, and then at least those sprout potions give you, what is it, like 5k each?
Yeah, 5k, dude. That's so relevant.
I remember way back in the day, you would have to do like the maths on which potions were cheaper because you couldn't train all day. Because if you did, you would run out of money on your account because it was more expensive to use potions than how much money you got from mobs because of how much damage they did. So I would like train, in where the zombies in Alnath. And then I would get like the red bean porridge against the cold damage because that would work out financially. And then for HP, I would have those ice cream pops. And then for MP, I would use it was like these pizzas that you could buy somewhere. Because like I mathed out that because of how much MP they gave and HP they gave, they were like better value than any other potion you could get. So I would use like pizzas for MP and ice cream pops for HP.
Were those the ones from the dungeon? Were those the ones from Dungeon, like the food truck?
I think so. Yeah, the food truck. I think I went there to get them because they were like, it sold like Pop-Tarts and waffles and shit. And I think like the pizzas. And then once NLC came out and you had like the Honsters and shit, that was a whole. That was a whole new ball game because the efficiency you could get there from those potions was insane. And then you had the ginseng roots and the ginger ales, and then it was just over.
Yeah. That was the real Big Bang.
Yeah, that was an explosion in terms of like numbers as well. For the longest time, like the max on a hit was like 10k, and then went up to 20k, and that was what 700 billion. Like, what do we?
I remember buying. I remember buying like a +8 Dex Deputy Star from Free Market, and think I was balling hard.
I still have a 12 attack. Mark of Narracane pendant on like old character, so like 2 attack above from the Crimsonwood Keep. That was like, it was that on like the 10 stat Icarus Cape 2, for the speed and the 10 stat. You're just like balling out of control, like your movement speed. Oh my god,
man! I can't. My marksman, I cannot quit Scania because my Dark Totems are above average. I have a +2 Dex, +1 attack Dark Totem. And like,
actually, I'm on my DA right now. Look, my DA has my DA Adventure is +1 attack, and then this Doom Totem is +4 strength, +1 attack, and this one is +3 strength.
Wait, that's unreal. That was on an arc.
No, yeah, if that was on arc, well, my arc, I did 2 whole events, didn't miss a single day, and I didn't get a single Dark Doom. I still have just 2 golds and my the thing from the Misty Island, like that one.
Yeah.
This was my hero and my arc. Those were like the 2 characters I definitely wanted to get Dark Totems on, and I did 2 full events, never missed a single day, and I didn't get a single Dark Doom on either one of those 2. And meanwhile, I have like, I think I have like 11 other characters or something that I'll never play. That all have like 3 Dark Dooms just sitting in their inventory.
I'm kind of glad there's no.
My Jet had like 3 Darks for every single class except for itself, like a 2 Dex and then 3 for all the other ones. Yeah, like my Wild Hunter, Mechanic, Dawn Warrior. Here, look at this: Shatterer, Bowmaster, Corsair, Dark Knight, Fire Poison, Mercedes, Bishop, Paladin, Battle Mage, Dual Blade. All of those had 3, and then Marksman and the DA kind of. But the DA is the easiest to hit because I would also keep int, you know, because it's just attack basically. Yeah, this one is sick.
I'm glad that there's no like legacy totems or anything like that in Hyperion, because it just feels better. I know they don't actually matter, but you get the mentality where because we're all in an even playing field until the Pistol Expedition, that's the point. You know, we're all theoretically on the same level of what we can get.
Well, you're already not, right? Because you already have like the Abyssal one.
Yeah.
So like the Abyssal lab piece is already imbalanced now, but yeah, it's always easy for people to be like, oh, you have legacy stuff, and it's like, oh, why don't you just drop it? And then, but anyone who gets a legacy item is just, you're gonna use it, you know, like it's, you're not gonna be like no, that's not fair, I'm gonna drop my potential badge. Like, no, it's gonna fucking do that.
Like, I don't agree with the principle of legacy items that much, but am I gonna purposely give myself? I don't.
Yeah, that's a whole other picture, right? Yeah, or a whole other question. Yeah. I think they're okay. The problem is once, because every difference is whatever, but it's I think it's once it gives like a frenzy totem, for example. It's so big, plus it's no longer available. That's like a whole. Yeah, that goes into a whole other remedy. Or like, what if like Breath of Divinity was no longer available from Marvel or something? Then that would be, yeah.
This is a non-political channel, sir. Sir,
is this like every single conversation in the interactive server ever is like, those items are too good and they're too expensive and they should be gone?
For your own safety, against the cartel, the frenzy cartels, I recommend not to bring up the frenzies.
Oh yeah, the frenzy cartel. It was like the Spanish mafia or whatever.
Yeah. They are the drug lords. But from like all the frenzy sellers, and I'm not sure if every server, but at least Barra and Scania are from Latin America. It's kind of funny. They're shipping off to the Americans who can afford it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they had like some kind of company just invested a few thousand or like a few $10,000 or whatever like in frenzy totems, and then just has a call center somewhere where the people are just like constantly frenzying people and taking out the money, selling the mezzo, and just like actually that was just an investment. Just like the person next door has like a bunch of graphics cards and is like mining Bitcoin, honestly. It's just like another way of like mining for income somewhere.
I think it was like, of the active frenzy sellers in Scania, I think only 2 are not from Latin America, or something, 2 or 3.
Jeez, yeah. They should just learn Spanish just in case, just to squeeze some more money out of the... Does the price fluctuate much, or is it just like one set price and?
They set the price, you know. So I mean, I can't complain.
But if you had one and you started lowballing them, would they like come after you?
Yeah, I can't say, but I've heard a lot of drama regarding that. A person, you know, cutting the frenzy cartels, and it can get quite toxic. It got pretty. Yeah. You can't have, you know, city streets being gunned down by by Uzis, but
you start getting like doxxed and stuff.
Yeah, you get defamation. Yeah, you know.
Jeez, I mean, I remember back in the day, I had to learn a little bit of Spanish just to get rid of those guys in my channels because they would just freely KS all the time. If you saw a guild that was like Latin America or Latin Heroes or whatever, something like that, you knew they were gonna KS like 100% of the time, always. So I learned like, hola amigo, ¿por qué me da KS? Cambia de canal, por favor. And then they would be like, oh amigo, and then they would leave. That would just work like 95% of the time, so. That's, you know. Well, I talked with someone about that before, after, and I'm like, is it just like a cultural thing where people feel like if they can take it, that means that they should be allowed to because you're basically just too weak to defend it? And he was like, that's a little bit crude, but it kind of comes down to that, actually. Like, if you're there, but you can't manage it, then it's like, then you shouldn't be there, and then, yeah, you should be allowed to be taken from you.
The amount of Zakum Helm assassins that would just take my maps. Oh.
Yeah, and you know, they only got the map because their friend would disconnect someone else in the channel so that they could get in and get carried in.
like they have the Candeo at minimum, you know, like they had at
Yeah,
least
oh,
the
yeah.
Maple Candeo, like, or better, you know, the Shinobi Bracer.
The main thing would be whether they had like a 8 stat like Raggedy cape, or they already had an Icarus, or they had a pink cape. Like that's how you knew their real status.
Yeah. Yeah, no anvil, so you can't hide your gear, you know?
No, exactly. It's all out in the open. And there was barely any NX to cover stuff, so it was pretty much out in the open. Until and then everyone... For me, the really the big, straw that broke the camel's back, maybe a beam, was like when all the Raccoon Mask and the Face Stompers that were like obviously duped, that everybody knew, of course, with half a brain. The people were like so like purity testing in the beginning of like whole guilds wouldn't accept people if they partied sometimes with one other person who was also partying with someone who ended up being a hacker afterwards or something. Then like 3 generations or three whatever's removed from that would still be like dirty, so you wouldn't be allowed in things. But then as soon as like 27 attack items become affordable, immediately everyone buys it and doesn't give a shit anymore, because everyone else has it, and it's like so hypocritical. So I was like, okay, I'm out of here. This is so stupid.
I remember like using the Owl Minerva to try to find some gear to upgrade, and I saw a bunch of like Raccoon Master clear like from the Habsburg lineage, right? They were all inbred the fuck out from duping.
Yeah.
I remember using the. I found a claw that was 18 stars, because there was like just kept adding star, like big star, and then star.
Oh yeah, it had like the 400 attack Cravens and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like it was like 18 big stars. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, because it's like per 5 it'd be like 1 big star or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in EU there were items that had so many stars they just went off the screen to the right.
Yeah.
They didn't even all show up. They had like thousands of attack bows or something. They had like the level 10 bow with like 1500 attack on it or something. So it looked like you were cosplaying like a level 10 archer, but you were actually just dealing like best in slot damage. It was kind of it was wild.
Like I'm just here trying to get a mop for my Iran character, and then I just see a stone tooth sword. It was later, but later I'm gonna start.
The mop was like that was like the slowest item, right? You were just like
That one could look cool. That was good.
The weapon effect was literally like like it had like a whole second or 2 of duration just because you were attacking so slowly. Yeah. And then you got the final attack, and you do like the extra little jump. I remember that. My sister got the Maple Impaler, and then with final attack, you were so fast.
What was the best polearm again? Was it like the Guan Yun? Or because I know the skis were pretty good, but I forgot what the best polearm.
The Crimson Arglaive was really good for a long time.
Oh yeah, but I couldn't afford that, obviously.
Yeah, I would flip those for NX, because those were really good rate, because there was really low supply in those. Yeah. Other polearms. What did I use? I used the Crimson Arglaive. There was like a Eviscerator or something, but that was like attack speed slowest. That thing did not move, but it had the highest attack, like a really big blue moon thing.
Yeah. I know the VIPs were almost impossible to get. Like there were a lot of like VIP weapons that were later end.
Yeah, I never really got those, because they did announce for that a little bit ahead of time that it was going to get removed, so there was some time to go grab some stuff there. But I did a lot of Alien PQ like way back in the day, and then saw those items. I think the shields are kind of still relevant in non-reboot, right?
They're only 127, so they don't have no stars.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they're 127.
Only the ones that are like fully upgraded are still some value as like temporary items until people outgrow them, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean they're permanent, right? And they're tradable. Yeah. So I think the Dragon Can Jar is usable because of the base 15 attack, even though it doesn't get beyond.
But it's also 15 star cap, I think, right?
Yeah, but the Daimo Shield is permanently tradable, so
Yeah, that's like the big thing, because some things are tradable, but then they're limited, right? So then eventually they're just kind of stuck. Does it show on every item how many times it's been made tradable?
So Nexon recently added the key sock limit to certain items. It only applies to Pitch Boss and Dog Boss, if I remember correctly. Oh, and Dominator for some reason. So yeah, they tell you how many slots it has. I think Pitch Boss has 5 trades available. 5 for Pitch Boss and 10 for everything else.
So that's like another value thing that you have to counter in, like,
yeah.
if this is, if you're buying that and that's, like, the last possible trade, then it's going to be worth way less than if you can pawn it off again. Or if we can pawn it off one more time, or then 4 times, yeah.
Oh, that actually got me. Because I was doing the Konosuba event on my mate, right? Because I wanted to get the EXP coupons and drop coupons. And I got instead, like, 8 Kazuma totems. And I'm like, oh, that's fine, I can give it to my Legion mules. So I try to open up storage, and I just don't see it. Like, wait, why can't I put it in my storage to transfer over?
You had to make them all tradable first?
So I forgot that you can't, storage equipment in heroic servers.
Oh, in heroic you got them. Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, in interactive, I was like, I can do that. It's fine. But I was trying to do it on heroic. I got too many, and I just got.
It's so many small things like that where you're like, oh, this is good value. It's like, never mind. Fuck me, I guess. Yeah, you're not getting any of that. Yeah, it's small things like that where you. Yeah, I mean, you have the. I mean, if you're in Hyperion, it'll probably take a while, but if you build up your guild castle, you can get some totems there, right?
I use the Afterlands right now, but I know it's not as good as the guild ones. But I'll see, right? I'll see.
Yeah, Afterlands, then the guild ones, then Shanghai, basically.
Yeah, but U Garden is again more work that I don't want to put in.
Yeah. I know I've never gotten into that. I'd rather have just no totems, and then do U Garden, because then eventually, if everything is built out, then U Garden will start becoming good value, and then I can always go in there. But if there's other items that become available, event stuff, like even if you use like a goo one of the Afterlands, and like another event temporary one, yeah, I'll take that free damage over that constant. Although the first 2 are really easy, right? Like the kettle and the horse are pretty easy. It's just the third one that's tricky to get.
I mean, without the side effect, is it worth it? Because I know they're decent stats on their own, but without the side effect of 3.
No, it's just better than having nothing.
Okay.
If your guild is working on that, then you might as well just wait for those guild ones. I mean, they're 500 mil, but 1.5 build to be done permanently is still pretty good value, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest one, is remembering what's actually good because of trade, and what's good because it's good, right?
You mean in Heroic compared to...
Yeah, in Heroic, yeah.
Yeah, I have to look at every item differently, because you have to know the alternatives, yeah. And the scrolling, right? Almost no purple numbers. That's gotta look weird whenever you're looking at an item.
Not just that. I'm like, man, I don't remember Golex gear being only this okay. Because the Golex scrolls are insane. Do you know the stats of Golex scrolls?
Yeah, those just don't exist here. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah. It's 4 attack and 3 all stat each time.
Yeah, and it's like 7 slots on.
Yeah, like seven slots. So
that's a lot.
And then you add in hammers, and it's like, damn. That's an actual like 30-something stat. 30-something
well, yeah. Then comparatively, the base stats become a way bigger portion of the total damage of an item. So if you look at a superior belt, the fact that it has more stats than the base stats of the other 3 items combined is also so wild. And you can switch into the belt pretty much instantly, always, no matter what set bonus it breaks before that. But the other pieces are actually kind of trash by themselves until you have the whole set effect.
Yeah, but the belt comparatively is the same. Like I think the belt is just so overtuned with that 35 and 60 all.
Yeah, it's almost because way back in the day I went for the 12-star Tyrant belt, and I got lucky and I actually hit that. But like if I compare the 12-star Tyrant, 12-star Tyrant has 5 attack less, and 160, 177. So it's 5 attack and 12 stat under a 22 superior. So that's oh no, wait, a little bit more attack. Sorry, 8 attack. Yeah, 8 attack and 12 stat under that. Still, and it's a fucking 12-star Tyrant compared to just the superior, which drops from the boss, and you can transfer level 140 into it. So it's so much easier to get.
Yeah, and it's also like if you factor in like regular servers where there's scrolling, the Tyrant belt has only 2 slots. So you have to scroll.
It's so random. 2. So you had like 1 bad. What do you even bet on the Chaos Scrolls then?
Yeah, you Chaos Scroll it because like at that point if it messes up, you just reset it. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Two
Well,
slots
yeah,
is
that's the
usually-
other thing. Yeah. Yeah, you got all the reset options. Yeah.
Man, you don't know how frustrating it is with Endless Terror. Endless Terror has 2 slots. It's like dude, Golix is insane. If they ever remove Golix, rank servers are so much weaker.
Well, and you have to get you have 2 slots, but then you have to do the scrolling first always before you can start star forcing, right?
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
also
you
very
start for
different.
Susu.
Yeah.
Because you start for Susu, you can't use the cash shop scrolls, which like protect the item from like booming. You can't use like reset scrolls if it's Star Force ready.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile in heroic, you get an item, immediately slam star forces because that's like
Yeah.
the easiest, quickest way to get damage on it. It's like completely the opposite way of approaching upgrading.
I mean, for perspective, right? With scrolling, my Genesis crossbow is 848 attack. As a weapon, like what's your Demon Avenger's attack on the weapon?
731 with a tier 6 on a liberated.
And your base attack is 340, so that's already higher base. Crossbow is 326, so 848 attack.
Yeah, I think I saw like a staff that was, I think it was over 1,000.
Yeah,
if you have a like
right.
fully built, it's like this, or like the
T7, yeah.
the Kana fan or something has like 980 or something. It's like Jesus, that's just so much magic attack.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm already used to not having like scroll stats, but the tradability thing is still getting to me, because I really just want to have an upgrade that I can transfer over to another character, right? Because it feels weird just having gear that's like dead after I upgrade out of it.
Yeah, and that's also why like the cubing is fun, but if you're like cubing a little bit too much, there's no other character that can get it. There's like no transfer hammer option whatsoever. And if it's not damage that you need, it's just better to hold on to the money instead and then dedicate it to a character, to an item that you're going to keep longer, like the Arcane, like possible Pitched, or save up so that when a Star Force event comes, you can make those more permanent gains. You know, if it's on CRA, even if you do boom them, you know you're going to be tracing and replacing, so you're going to, wow, that rhymed. You're going to keep the value of your flames, you're going to keep the value of your current upgrades on there, and there's no loss there. So that is definitely the extra way that you have to look at items in terms of what value can this have for me later, but me meaning this character, not this account.
Yeah.
Really, when you're looking at those equips. So that's also why we're looking at the drop rate and the meso stuff, and it's also to an extent why you know, the primals and the wops and everything, like the wops is transferable, right? Like that's like giving drop rate to any character in your account. And and primal essence could be a Meister ring on another character that gets really unlucky with Kana treasure rings, for example. So if your character doesn't need them, then that's cool. Hold on to those resources, and then maybe another character can get their fill of rings faster than the RNG is allowing them to get it.
Yeah, I've been holding my primal for that reason.
That's like the only quote-unquote kind of transferable equip we have basically in this whole game, other than like, you know, the NX sets with a little... Yeah, Blackheart. Yeah. No, that's true. And that is like, endgame is basically just building up hard load as bossing mules to try to like be able to, not substantiate, be able to... what's the word I'm looking for? To be able to sustain yourself, basically, with the set bonus from Pitched. That's what eventually you'll end up at, yeah.
The black heart value is so much better in Reboot, because I don't know if
you got those crazy hearts with like 180 attack or some dumb shit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because like because the way hearts work is you can scroll them with weapon scrolls, right? And since weapon scrolls give like 10 attack and like 3 all stat.
Why can you use weapon scrolls on that? It's not a weapon.
I don't know, you tell me.
Jeez. Oh, that's why they get so high. Yeah. They have like what, like 177 attack or something?
They can get insane, yeah, because of that. I think
because they have a lot of slots as well in the base.
Yeah. It's like 11 slots with hammer 13.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I've seen those because people will sell like the weaker ones that have like 77 attack or something.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how much they get on the fairy hearts, right?
Yeah.
And then be like, oh my god, this is like insane. But that's then like that's your progression heart, you know, until you get into the late game, and then you get like a really big one. It's like, oh, this is just the training wheel one. And if you're looking at that as a heroic player, you're like, oh my, you're like frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, like I have a coughing baby.
Comes with that.
Like I have a fucking coughing baby heart, you know, like the fairy heart with 100 attack. and that's like okay. 100 attack cards, okay.
Yeah. But that's
Above
also
average,
the point where people start buying that stuff for like real money, right? When it's like a really fully upgraded stuff, some items start.
Yeah.
What's the cap you can sell things for now? Is it 200 bill?
I've never looked at the end, the maxed out ones, because I don't go that, you know.
I think some people were getting them in the philosopher books now, and I think they sold clean, the big hearts like clean for like 140 or something.
Yeah, all the hearts are unreal.
So if you hit one of those, all your money back and everything that you got is just like pure profit.
Yeah. This because it's like the Joe Rogan of podcasts in terms of reg servers. I can say this much. I think Outlaw Hearts are overrated. I can say it safely here.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, listen, anyone who buys them is just wasting money. Because you know, if they use meso trade, non-meso, you know. Yeah. It's like it's a little over 1,000 something, you know. It's a couple thousand.
Yeah.
And they have to upgrade it, and they have to cube it, and then you have to, you know, and Star Force it.
Yeah, that's the other thing, right? If you're buying things in that order of magnitude, it's never worth it to buy the item and do all the upgrading yourself versus buying a finished one.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like never worth it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not spending money, then you just wait until something comes up available and then just like trade up basically.
Yeah. Like unless you're like a Saudi prince and like you do it for the fun of it, you know. You're like, yeah, I buy all means. Like, what was it?
Some Cthulhu.
There was like that Korean streamer who was 23ing all his pit boss and spending like what 50 grand on each piece.
Yeah. Oh my god. He has like a few 24s, right?
I don't remember his name, but it was really.
I think it was the dude who had he like tapped something to 23, and then the very next tap it went to 24, and then the next tap it boomed. But then he got into test server and they copied over the version of his character where he had to 24, and he tapped it in the test server and it went to 25. And just like fell with his friend, and he just like fell out of his chair and everything. Of course. You know, think about it. For the test server version, it was actually just tap, like back to back somehow, 22 to 25. Unreal. But I mean, yeah, the only people who have the money to back that up have the chance to even hit that, of course, you know. I've had like 2 attempts at 22 at a 23 or something on a pitch. That's it.
I'm not going to hold up your time much longer. Maybe like 10 minutes. Is that okay? 10, 15?
Yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to do after this.
No, just because I don't want to hold you up. That's why I don't hold you up.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Also, I want Mexican food.
yeah, if you're hungry. Did you have any other topics you wanted to get into?
Yeah, so... what was it? The weapon? Is it really worth buying the weapon? Because I could, but is it actually worth it, in your opinion, to ever buy a weapon? Because that's 216, right? 216 droplets?
Yeah, it's basically 2 armors, yeah. I think eventually it is, but it has to be because you need the damage. You know, if you're looking to like solo the C10 stuff, you know, like that extra requirement of damage to make sure that those runs don't take forever. There will definitely be a time where buying the weapon, like I would say, like you have all the armors now. If like getting into Black Mage, essentially the difference would be like I have to get 5 levels and I have to get everything like 4 stars versus, or just get the weapon and that's enough. Then I think getting the weapon makes more sense there. Even if it's really expensive, it'll be less money to get the weapon, get it to 17, and get it like a double boss attack potential or something like that. That'll be cheaper than elevating everything 2 to 3 stars, right? So that's more like the equation that you're looking at. And then if you do get another weapon, you do finally get a weapon box. First of all, you know, that's probably going to happen. But then you also have a backup so that eventually maybe you can tap to 18, tap to 19. Because even if you start Liberation, so, like within this month, which, you know, I hope you can. But even then, it'll be 8 months until you're done. So having like an extra 2 or 3 or 4 stars for 8 months, I think is probably still worth it. Because it'll, you know, it'll help you get into Saren a little bit faster, help you get into Kalos and Kaling a little bit faster, and that'll help you start building on Eternal faster, which means there'll be less pressure on your arcanes, and will also mean that you could probably keep your arcanes at 21, and will never have to do the 21 to 22 tap there, which will save you a lot of money that you can then put to Eternal, which will already be very expensive.
Yeah, I think I've pretty optimized my damage so far. I'm getting the hang of Dawn Warrior at this point. With the current gear I have, I'm getting like a close to sub 15 Hard Lotus at the moment with the gear I have. Yeah,
that's very good.
And my Damien, I'm just being a monkey because I'm trying not paying attention. But if I did pay attention, it'd probably under 20. It's just hard to pay attention to Damien, you know. He's just sort of like, you know, Cheetos and just staying in the air and like, bro, just drop, come on.
Yeah,
I know I'm not gonna die out, just die.
Yeah, I wish you could just like fast forward if he's in the air just a little bit, and then just let's get on with the actual boss fight. You can hit him a little bit right from the ground with the rift. Yeah. But yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, but he's blue balling me every time, you know. Like I hate getting blue balled by men all the time. God damn.
And then in P2 you get even more blue balled. Yeah. At least you're not locked in place for too long, right? Yeah. I remember in the beginning when I got to Damien and then hard Damien with my arc, it was really difficult because we had the low ceiling, and then Abyssal was basically all of your damage. But wherever you put Abyssal, even if you put the ball completely on the other side, because we couldn't quick cancel it, the last hit that was all the damage, it would always be with the blue ball covering you, so you would always hit it in the weekend. So it was just like hard countering our 5th job essentially, which was problematic for a while until we got the beast, you know, and then you can put the beast down and then run away, and then the beast at least can hit outside of the blue ball. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're close to getting both of those done within 1 G skill, that's really good progress. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it always comes down to you want your upgrades to be functional, right? So if it gives you access to new bosses or significantly increases or decreases, I guess, the speed, the time that you need to clear the current content, then I would say it's worth waiting for an upgrade. If you only have like 1 armor now, I wouldn't even think about it, right? But you have all the armors. You were going to drop in Mesogear. Once that's all on point, you know, and the arcanes are on point, the next upgrade is probably just is the weapon, really, and then like or 21ing like you CR8. That's probably like the next 2 things to work on.
Okay, because I wanted a take from a heroic player, right? Yeah. Because seeing what was it? Someone said 12 mil for a weapon when I get one of the auction house for like 80 mil. It just feels so much worse. And like on my main, I got 3 arcane weapons this week. I'm just thinking, why is this the way the server works sometimes? You see me complain on the chat where like I have 9 Dominators for a single weapon, and I've seen 1 Dominator the entire.
That is really lucky on Dominators though, because some people get like 1 Dominator like every 4 months or something. You're like way above that. But yeah, if you could trade 4 for a weapon, you do it in a heartbeat, I think.
Yeah, like I've had 1 Dominator in the past 2 years of Scania, but I got 9, and it's like I know I'm just lucky. I'm not gonna play that I'm lucky. I'm playing that this is the luck I get. Where I don't
then it's lopsided. Yeah,
it's lopsided luck.
Well, like that's another thing, right? That's in the interactive servers, like primal essences, like way more rare there, right? Like you never see them basically. Well, I guess the hard bosses drop them now as well. Yeah, the weeklies. Yeah. So now you start getting them. But before that, if you only could get them really from Arc and harvesting.
Oh, I would cream. Back then they were expensive for that reason, right? Because I think they lost about 90% of their value. Yeah. Because of the bosses. I guess Slime. Did Slime start dropping them, and then they started adding them to more and more. Live. Because Live added Slime. And then also slime and the slime ring also. The slime ring is a really high drop rate, surprisingly. Surprisingly high.
Well, I guess that's another thing that's really good value in heroic versus interactive, is that you get the ring boxes are instance versus versus shared, right?
Yeah, there's
So that even if you're doing party fights, you can still all have a chance for the ring. So that's always a good value.
I found 4 ring boxer, which is insane. I think I don't know if that's like average, but I've gotten 4 ring boxes. Nothing good, but the fact I've seen 4 ring boxes already, I'm surprised by that.
Well, you're doing C10, so you can start seeing black ring boxes. That's where the money is basically. Like the red ring boxes are okay, but the black ring boxes is where you can start getting some real good stuff. So yeah, since you're already in there, you'll get your rings, and since you're a 3-minute class, also you really just need to hit 1 really good one. So even if you hit like a weapon jump 3 or something, that'll already be a big upgrade for you.
I saw a weapon jump, and I was so ready to pop off, and then I saw the 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw the 2. Not even if it was 3, I would still happy. But
Lame.
2.
Yeah. I've got like 3 roar 3s now on my main. It's like kind of over it. And then a roar 1 last week. I was like, oh, bro. These things are so nasty. They shouldn't even exist that low. I really wish that well, I said it in the beginning, like I wish the black ring box was like level 2 to 4 instead of 1 to 4. But if they did 2 to 4, they probably would have just adjusted the percentages so that the chance of a 3 or a 4 would still be the same, so it doesn't really matter. You're really only looking for those highest ones anyway.
I mean, you know they're doing it because of economy. They're not making 2 separate boxes for Reg and Reboot. So.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well, that's the main question now, I guess, right? With everything is that since they renamed everything in GMS, is that so that they could keep things more separate from KMS, or is that just to skirt the law and actually behind the scenes just copy everything over anyway? That's kind of like the main problem now. Main question.
Yeah, so you know at the Dominators, the Arcanes, I mean the reason why I haven't bought the weapon yet, even though I had the money, was I can't even upgrade into my Arcanes because they're only 15 stars. The shoe spent 5 bill to hit 16, and then I tapped it and went back down.
Yeah, I would exclusively use like 5, 10, 15s to get past 15, honestly. You just save so much more money. So like 30% up to 15, 5, 10, 15, anything past 15. The only reason I would use 30% off is on something that you wouldn't safeguard. So like on CRA maybe, or on fodder stuff. That's when 30% off, like on 21, 22, gets cheaper. Otherwise 5, 10, 15 just wins by a lot.
I tapped it because I had really good luck on Scania, right? I was like, as soon as the Sunny Sunday came by, I started just clicking buttons, then my Berserk hit 22 in like 4 bill. I was like, bet that this is my day, my time to shine. And then my superior didn't hit 15, my shoe took 5 bill for 16, and then my shoulder went nowhere.
It sounds like you need a little bit more gambler's fallacy. Like, oh, I got lucky here, so I'm gonna get unlucky on the next stuff, so I should stop, you know? Which is usually bad logic, but it could have saved you there.
No,
you had the even worse logic, oh, I'm doing well, so nothing could fail now. That's like
strike while the
famous
last
words.
Man, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, you know this already.
Well, the best part is when you like stop something because you're like, oh, it's gonna boom, and then you do something else and you like fail, you succeed 3 in a row, and you're like, oh no, that would have been this and this and the other item. Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
Something that you're seated, you know. I did 100 cubes, and in 100 cubes I got my secondary to the 3-line attack, and I was like, all right, I still have cubes, let me do it again, and I got 3-line strength on my pants.
Oh yeah,
like, well, the bar's still high. So then I got 1-line crit, 1-line stat on my glove. I'm like, well, that was a good 100 cubes.
That is very solid, yeah. But then you know that the next 1,000 cubes are gonna be garbage, right? So
yeah.
Now you know you're gonna have to be careful. Don't put down the red boxes. No, I know. I got a roar 4 out of one of those as well. But yeah, the black boxes is where you're gonna get most of the value. It's just because you're gonna get the white ring boxes are way more rare just by access, and the red ones just have worse rates. So the black boxes are the best positioned in terms of you can get a decent amount of them, and they have better rolls. It's kind of like with powerful flames, you're gonna on average get better. Like most of the best flames in the game are gonna come from powerfuls rather than from eternals. But it's not because powerful flames are better than eternals, but it's because you can just get so many more of them that they're gonna hit more often. Alright, so that clears it up for the weapon, the positioning, what to work on now, familiars, Legion positioning.
Yeah. I might start one of my another Legion characters later today, actually. Just as I see the value in it.
Yep.
Gear-wise, I think I'm okay. Is it worth making Meisters in Heroic?
It could be. It's just I think they increased the drop rate already, or if not, they should soon for the Grand Spell Essences. That's going to be probably your main bottleneck, so that's what you want to look at. So I would say as long as there are projects you can work on, if it's not the rings yet, then just push just put that off. Because if, you know, all the other projects are kind of like, they came and they're done, and then you get to the rings, and then you still have no rings, then you can always still make Meisters. But I would just make them as late as you possibly can, because they have that transferable property basically.
Because I already have a Connor Treasure, I have the Superior, obviously, and I'm working towards eventually a Slime Ring with my parties. So that's 3 main rings. I'm assuming, right? Assuming, fingers crossed, I'm going to eventually get Oz Ring. So I would try to see if there's worthwhile investment to have a 4th ring. That's the idea.
Yeah, the pressure should get taken off a little bit off the Meister, because you can get to Gloom faster, so you can get to ET faster. You get the ring boxes, you get Oz rings faster. And also, you won't need as many kind of treasure rings, hopefully, because, you know, the old transfer into Superior into Slime is going to be a little bit of a thing of the past, because you can get the Sea Slime so much faster, and you can get the soloing it faster, so it'll make more sense to just be a bit more patient on the Slime Rings and just tap them up on Slime Rings with backups. So the main projects that are going to be ahead of you is, like, you know, the weapon, and then, you know, like the drop in the meso stuff and all of that, and then it's basically going to be like the CRA stuff up, and then all the Superior stuff like the fodder and then transferring. So there's probably going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other items or so before that. And so if it becomes that, you know, that item's turn, or maybe even like the Black Beam Mark to 20 before then, right? I don't know what you're using for Iron Face right now.
You can scroll up.
It's here, yeah. You have a 17, yeah. So like, so I guess you need to make another one for damage, right? So you probably want to get a 20 Black Beam Mark as well. That's all before that. So if by that time you really still only have like 1 or 2 kind of treasuring backups, and they don't, you know, and maybe you get like a 119 out of there and then only have 1 backup and you don't want to risk it, then you can always go into Meister. But again, it depends on if you need the damage at that point or you want the damage at that point. Chances are, if you have all of those outer upgrades done, it's fine to probably have 1 ring slot that's just maybe even an event ring. If everything else is on point, it's not really going to lose you a lot of functional damage. You know, if your WSE potential is on point, you have full CRA, you're going to be doing Black Mage and probably doing C10A like Duo at that point. Changing 1 slime there, or 1 ring there from an event ring into like a 19 or a 21 Meister, I don't think is going to make you be able to solo it like a lot faster or anything.
And Reinforce isn't worth it, right? And Heroic.
Yeah, it can be eventually, but I think you shouldn't work on Reinforce unless, until you have 22-star Superior.
Okay.
And even then, yeah, most people are going to end up with ET, Superior, Slime, Ozring anyway, and then it gets replaced. So I don't think... The only people who have like 21 or 22 Reinforced, I think, should be people who either have a lot of Legacy coins, or people who made it before the Ozrings became so much more... and the Slime Ring became so much more achievable, basically. Yeah, it has more stats, forgotten, but the stats are so low. I think it's 3, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3 stat and 4 attacks, something along those lines, which in your total situation of your account should never be the value that makes it so that you postpone getting potentially to 22 Superior. And by the time you get to 22 Superior, that ring is probably not relevant anymore. So I think it kind of got outpositioned. Yeah.
Okay, so new Black Beam Mark. I hope I get a Twilight Mark for my party. Okay. And I'm not gonna say ignore Meister, but don't worry about it for now.
Yeah, no. She'll need 21s into Superior, or even 21 to Superior and tap again. Yeah, it's gonna be a few of those projects first before the Meister. So as long as you could do other projects first, then do the other projects first that are lower risk. And then, yeah, if you keep getting unlucky with kind of treasures, then it'll probably become a relevant thing. But hopefully not, so that you can keep the Meisters potentially for like a side character or another bossing mule that you want to bring up with another hyper burn or something if you're going to do that.
Okay. Okay. I think we're winding down a little. Okay, most things are good. Anything else I can think of? Okay. When should I roll my stat ring? Because one of my stat rings is my event ring, right? The 27 strength. I don't have a lot of it's in the accessory section. So those are my main ring basically. It's 27, and I'm thinking I don't have that many other things I can actually roll for drop or meso. Unless I try
27
to
I
go
think
for
is
private.
too. Yeah, I would say that's too good to roll over. Like 24 or 27 I tend to keep, and then if it's lower, then I would say like, yeah, roll over, drop or meso, and get the gains. I mean, you probably have like even like a silver blossom ring or something, right?
Is that too
Silver
low
blossom.
stat? Though sometimes I struggle to do damage with my mobbing. Because really it does it for mobbing because I don't have a damage attack lines.
Yeah, your weapon is holding you back a lot from mobbing, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, the accessories are typically just there for drop or meso, honestly. It'd be that, or like re-optimizing your hyperstat and your legion and your links, and then make sure that there's a little bit more coming from that comparatively to your item. Because like just the accessories, or you could look into maybe making sure that every single part of your drop and meso pieces also have a line of strength with it. That would probably that could cover some of it, right? Like, because like the Mechaner has none, Greed Pendant has none. If you can get a line on each of those, that'll be 18% extra strength, and that would cover a lot of the stat loss from getting like a weaker ring. Or Treasure Hunter John ring. I don't know if you have that one.
I do not, but that's also only 15 stars, isn't it? So again,
yeah, it goes up to 15. Yeah, it's also weaker, but yeah, you really just want to get a slot filled and get drop or meso on it, and then get started with that. Because that'll make you money faster, and then you can use that money to make up the damage in other places instead. But you'll make it up in places, typically in like hybrid places that are helping you in both the mobbing and also in bossing, by like getting better pot, getting better potentials, right? Getting your income up. And remember, once you get to 270, you're going to go down again, right? You're going to go down for your familiars, so you're not going to need the damage for a while.
Yeah, that's a big. I was like, I'm getting outscaled by the bosses.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's a sacred gate, right? That's a sacred gate you're running into, more so than whether you're wearing like a silver blossom ring or an event ring. In terms of like the total percentage of where the problem is, that's like a very, very small part. The huge part is just like the sacred.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad to have this issue with what was it, Arteria. Because having a Genesis weapon, that 3-line attack going into into a map was like I didn't care about the stack difference.
Yeah,
but
yeah, no, for sure. That's and you can even buy symbols, right? In Interactive.
Oh, I'm not on launch. I'm not buying this. On launch, they were way too expensive. For
yeah. I mean, all the whales you have to fight to harpoon to get through that. I imagine.
For one symbol, I don't know.
Yeah, I always look at it in terms of like how many days does it save you, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 20 symbols seems like a lot, but if it's just 2 days, then that puts it into perspective,
I'm hitting Carcion in, I think, either late April or early May, depending on how much I consistently grind. I'm trying to hit Shangri-La on my Dawn Warrior by maybe mid-May. Right? I don't want to give like too many benchmarks that I can't reach because grinding 2 servers is really tough. I think once I finish reaching Carcion, I will focus more heavily on Hyperion, assuming that the servers will die and all. But
wait, what level are you on Interactive?
I'm going to hit 284, I think, this week. At the grinding pace I'm at. Yeah, so 284 this week. And then the EXP rate's so bad.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, you're with the Frenzy service. That's the only thing that's like saving you, right?
Yeah. With Frenzy, the only reason why it's even worthwhile running and grinding. Like, what's the rates without Frenzy? I'm curious. Did you do 30 minutes?
I think. Do I even make like 0.3? I don't even know if I make 0.3 in half an hour. With everything. I think I make... Yeah. I think it's also so depressing to look at those numbers that I try to just like not look at it. I look more like in terms of total daily gains with like all of the EXP from all the dailies plus Monster Park plus that training, and then that's like 1.2 to 1.3 a day, I think. So
I make like 2.1-ish roughly, depending on like how optimized I am at. Like 2.1, 2.2 an hour with Frenzy, which means like you probably get 0.6, 0.7 times that by 3, 1.8 to 2.1. So that's how right.
Yeah. The Frenzy, you kill so many more monsters. It's kind of wild. Did you see when when Niru was training when the frenzy was broken because of the
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
instant
that was double
snaps.
that's
Dude.
double my.
It was like every half a second, everything respawned. I was like, what is going on, dude? It's like if I was watching someone play like Path of Exile or something. There's so many monsters.
Yeah.
He would like triple vac pet to the side, stand there for 5 seconds, and they still couldn't loot everything.
Yeah.
I was like, just give up, man. Just get the fragments and get out.
Yeah. Like, you think Frenzy's good? You should see Frenzy 2, like.
Yeah, Frenzy 2.0, yeah, upgraded. Oh my god, it was a Frenzy inside a Frenzy. That was sick. Like, he was just doing down teleport Big Bang and like up teleport Big Bang, and he couldn't keep up. Like, that was already too much. Wild. Piles and piles, yeah.
Is Green Pendant too weak for grinding? I think.
So, for grinding, yes. Typically. So, Greed Pendant, it's fine to only go like one line. And maybe you notice that, like, that's okay because, you know, we want it for that extra equipment drop rate, but there's no equips that are good that really drop, right? Because the symbols don't drop as symbols anymore. They drop as coupons, which makes them use items.
Gotta love it.
So,
gotta love it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but you want it on when you're opening boxes, which means the damage on it doesn't matter. So, what eventually could be a good idea is that if you build your set, you build it around one pendant so that you can replace it with the spirit pendant, and exchange it with that, and that you keep like a 5/4 set with a spirit pendant. Or, you know, go higher in drop rate if you can, once you start building hybrids. But that's probably not after, like, 21 to 22 CRA, 19 all arcanes, you know, 21 superiors, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's typically once you start moving into pitched. And then the high, you know, the strong accessories that you have now will become unemployed. And then you can re-roll them for hybrids so that you have strong drop meso gear, basically. Yeah. One hybrid set. 5/10, or on 9 pieces, or on 8 pieces if you can do it, so that you can keep the spirit pendant open, basically.
Alright, I think I'm gonna save mess. So I'm gonna work on the item drawer. I probably should be saving. I think I'm gonna not zero out every week for cubing.
Yeah, I would look at just like one or two arcane pieces, and just because I think we'll see a 5/15, maybe a shining, but you're not gonna do anything where shining is like that important to save up for. It's not like you have like 100 bill and you're going to be tapping a bunch of 22s. So I think a 5/15 will be placed quite well for you, so you can just finish everything off to 17. So if you can like roughly see how much that's going to be and keep that in mind as like a total amount, and then everything that's like not close to that, you could just tap into getting those potentials for drop and meso done. Yeah. And then it's really just, and after that, it's like straight up to like your weapon project, basically.
Yeah, okay. I gotta say, but I do have to say for a weapon, theoretical weapon, because zeroing out means I can't even.
No, exactly. But yeah, you can't even 17 it. If you get a weapon, your total weapon attack is just gonna get like 1.75 or something compared to what it is now. It's gonna be a ridiculous amount of extra damage. Because the flame is just gonna be so much better. Your flame is gonna be like plus 130 or something. Like the flame is just gonna be double the attack.
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
And the bonus attack is probably like 150 or something. Base goes up to 260. So it's like 170 extra weapon attack or something like that. Maybe even more than that.
And actually get attack percent as well. The big one's like not having any attack percent at all.
Yeah, your potential is going to be fucking massive, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that bonus then as well, yeah.
I'll start saving. Do you see anything else that could be addressed? Because I just like I know the game, but just like
we got Magnificent this weekend, so like tap the souls that you have, I guess. So you can start saving those up for, and also on potential boss mules that you have, so you can get a nice Magnificent soul once you get your weapon. Your inner ability is okay for now. One thing that, I would save Honor EXP, but once the changes come through, especially if you're gonna enter like pitch waiting room, is definitely make a preset with drop rate. Because that's, just like the familiars, just like the coupons, just like the equips, anything that you can get drop rate on, you want to maximize on as early as possible, because heroic, you can't just rely on making the money and then buying it with the money from the auction house. You have to get it yourself.
Save 14 best was good though, right? Because I saw that, I was like, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's 1% off of the max unique line. So that is, if you're still building up your account, that's really good. I would potentially, like, if it, was a different universe or something, I would like be okay with if you rolled out at a 21 attack, because comparatively to your whole account, that's not as big. Also because it's like final attack. It's not like multiplied with your percentage attack. So if you would roll out of that for like a little bit of drop rate, that's probably fine as well. But since we're so close, and like Dream is on the way, and then you get the full presets, I think it's better just have more honor, and then make like a dedicated like 20% top line, another one that you can just switch into when you're bossing, and just get the maximum value from all of those boxes. Because yeah, you're such a heavy 3-minute class for burst. Like if you get an Oz ring, your total damage goes up by so much. You add an arcane weapon onto that, and you're probably, you're gonna be really close to being like minimum requirement BM ready. So I would do you could do BA now. I would do BA for sure before you get your arcane weapon, and then do another one after, and just see how much of a total damage. Just to see, you could like splurge all over your screen, just like a big number go brr,
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe after 270, I think I'll at least hit 6.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good confidence booster though, as well, to see like the value of the upgrade.
Yeah. Also, I still have a lot of hyperstat because I don't need my crit rate yet. Because of the weapon, right? Because once I have an arcane weapon and lose a 10 crit rate, I probably want to start investing to the crit rate stat. But otherwise, I think it's
which stat?
Hyperstat, the crit rate. I have 0 in it because of the
right. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just giving leeway.
It'd be really cheap to bring it up to like 7 or 8, and then that'll very easily compensate. Yeah. With your weapon and the Legion grid, and then you can go full into critical damage, probably into IED, max that one out, and then any leftover into boss damage.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Can we scroll through just a little bit? I'm trying to see if there's anything specific now, and then we're done after that.
Hexa, talked about the V Matrix. Did you have? Yeah, that's already 25, I talked about link skills and Legion. Characters.
Actually, can we go back to V Matrix? Because I'm curious about the perspective of this. Yeah, for V Matrix, even with the EXP nodes from the daily attendance, I will not be able to finish, for example, Cygnus Blessing or Weapon Aura. Should I still use nodes on this character instead of my boss meal if I don't have finish, for example, Weapon Aura or Cygnus Blessing? I'm trying to think what's the benchmark on what I should actually finish.
Yeah, when it comes to like funding bossing meals, I always just like to use the resources there that I have the most access of, because those are the ones that are the least, the highest efficiency to fund it. So if you're really short on bossing meals, on node stones, I would really only use about like maybe like 100 to 150 on a bossing meal, and that should already get it up to the mark of being able to do like Akechi and CPEP and everything below, as long as the other funding on that character like follows the regular progression state as well. And even with like a total of like 250 to 300, like Lotus and Damon should also be doable. If you have more, then you could throw more on, and then you don't have to throw as much money onto the character. But if like making money with it, or you have time and you can do dailies and stuff like that, is something you have more of, then I would still focus more the node zones here, because Weapon Aura gains uptime, and the Grandest Blessing is a lot of percentage damage for you. So those are still pretty substantial upgrades that you can make. When you go into like Impenetrable Skin and the Phalanx, those are already like quite a lot less important than those two. So then you can definitely start like prioritizing more into the mules. But yeah, the Blessing and the Weapon Aura are still decently high priority for you. Like after the other two, right? The ones on top.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those are first.
There's and that the other one is like a decent, it keeps your DPM afloat, right? Because the extra explosion thing.
Yeah, and also do need it for Hexa. I mean.
Yeah, you need it for Hexa as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you do want to get those max first. But it's like once the Weapon Aura and the Cygnus Blessing get like past level 20 or something, then you could probably start slowing down. But until then, I probably still prioritize this over, yeah. And every boss mule could be different, right? One boss mule maybe you throw like 50 nodes on and you can kind of get going, and then maybe another boss mule needs like closer to 200 before they can get going. Not every class is the same there, so I would just start with a low amount, see how the bossing is. If it's good enough, then wean it off the teat of the node stones and just give it maybe some symbol dailies, maybe some monster park, maybe some levels. And if it does need more node stones, then maybe be like, oh, maybe I need a different. Maybe work on a different boss mule instead that gets fired up a little bit faster early on,
Yeah. I mean, marksman's always an option.
Yeah. You want the attack speed there, like very strongly on the inner ability, but other than that, it starts up really easily, like Wind Archer, like Dual Blade. Those get started like pretty damn easily. Yeah, they need very little help. Iran even, like, is very good high solid base damage, has its own bind now, so that's also high critical rate, high IED. Like, anything that has high critical rate and high IED really doesn't need that much to confirm their damage. They've got they got low final damage penalties, so that's what you're looking for in bossing mules. Yeah. Buccaneer as well,
Scania too, yeah. Iran and Marksman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you've got the same, yeah. Those are your characters over there, yeah. Is Aran good? Yeah, Aran is, it's relatively simple. You only need like 3 or so base attacks that you're like pressing. And it's pretty tanky. It's got a lifesteal. It's got high AD, high crit rate. You can move around. The only thing that's a little bit tricky is like those finishers, making sure that you get those off properly. Once you get that down, you can just do big nukes and stuff.
Yeah. Also, the having an inbuilt bind means you only earn Nova, and Mark doesn't even need a bind because of the puppet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the boss is basically semi-bound the whole boss fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in Lotus, I use the bind to basically get rid of the lasers if it's in a bad position, rather than to burst.
So you're saying, but just make sure, 20 for Weapon Aura and Blessing is like good enough, pretty much. You're saying?
I don't know if there's like an exact sweet spot number, but it is still a decent damage increaser. Honestly, yeah, the Weapon Aura uptime is still a little bit tricky on the lower level. Even at max, it's still not 100%, right? But I think once I would probably get them both like towards 20, and then once they're there, I would dedicate a bit more towards the bossing mules until you have probably like 3 or 4 bossing mules that can do like, like Akechi and CPAP, like that kind of money when they can break that in. Maybe 1 or 2 will already be doing Lotus and Damien because events and stuff like that. But the main thing is just that you want to be able to supplement your income when you're going back down to hunt your familiars, and you still want to make a decent weekly income, right?
Yeah.
So once you get your large drop rate and you got your drop rate and Mesogear done, and you're going back into the higher level areas to grind, then you can also just start going back with the node stones at that point, and then maybe even neglect your bossing mules again for a little bit. The one extra value, though, as well, of the bossing mules is the extra souls that they bring in for the event, so you can get a nice magnificent soul in your arcane weapon. I mean, that'll only end up being probably 3% attack, but it's still a nice upgrade.
Is boss settle worthy in your opinion? Because I'm trying to think of how many I'm even gonna get. I don't have that many max souls.
Yeah, if you only have a few, then I would always settle, right? If you have like 4 or something and the first one hits boss, honestly, I might keep that. But if you have like 20 of them, then I would never settle for boss. I would just keep going. So it's more like an amount. If you have like 1 or 2 left and you hit a boss, just keep boss, Yeah. And then if the next event you get like 4 extra or something, then I would probably try, because there's a decent chance. Because sometimes, even if you had crit, you might be able to... Crit, in a sense, can be even better than boss, right? Because it's 12 versus 7. But crit and boss have the same percentage in your Legion grid. So then you can just move crit for boss, and then you can actually get a little bit more value out of it. So attack, boss, and crit are all... You can work around those. ID is kind of, because it's only 7%.
Yeah, ID is ID.
Kind of it's kind of a shitty one, yeah. So... But you can make boss, crit, and attack. You can all make those work in some way for you. So if you have to, you can settle on those,
Okay.
Bowmaster? Yeah, a lot of people like the Bowmaster as well for the lifesteal and for the just continuous attack.
I didn't like Bowmaster.
I'm not a huge fan. I think they're okay, but I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, I got mine to 220 on Scania, got it to CRA ready, and after like 3 weeks of running, I'm like, I'm just holding down Hurricane. I'm just holding down Hurricane, and that's all I'm doing.
You're going for like the slowest attacking character in the entire game to like the fastest attacking character in the entire game. It's like, yeah, they're both archers and they're coming from the same branch, but they're so different.
Listen, I love one button characters, but this is I'm holding the button down and nothing else.
The problem is when you stop attacking, the button just rises slowly from your keyboard, slower than the other keys, because it's just used to being pressed down for so long. Poor mechanical keyboard. There's like one key that's like much smoother than the other ones, you know, the one you have to like replace more often than the other ones.
Like, I don't want to be too stimulated boss, you know, like, can't be too complex, but also I am just like zoning out.
Once you start like nodding off, you're like, okay, I need something. Oh. I had that with Adele in the beginning, because it was just so ridiculously, stupidly strong in the beginning, that it was like, it just feels wrong to play it, you know? It's just too strong, it's too easy. But the benefit of being further in the game is that you do get to the point where you can get to the more challenging stuff more quickly, so then that you have that as a counterbalance to it. But yeah, I can imagine like people who started playing the game when Adele was out and then mained Adele, and then played any other character and was like, oh, this is garbage. But then basically we had, what is it, like 2 years of just every other character getting brought up to the level of Adele, basically, and Adele getting nothing. So now it probably feels way better to just play something else comparative to it. Yeah. Although it's still really, really strong, solid character, of course, across the board. That's another good bossing mule, by the way.
I'm not Listen.
Adele is another good bossing mule, by the way. Like, builds up very quickly, very good all-rounder, so easy to level and easy to boss on as well. You can make it as like simple and as complicated as you want for bossing, so that's really nice.
Yeah, mine's 210 in the server, and it's not bad. I'm sure it's fine. Now I think I'm 200 on Hyperion already. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, the timing is just you want to make sure that the ruins hit. So once the ruins hit, you just crush.
Yeah, I've been liking Demon Slayer so far. That's why it's 220. But
Demon Slayer
also know it's free because it's good.
High crit, high IED. That's what it comes down to. Like high crit, high ED, solid kit, and like a self bind. Like if it hits all those boxes, it's easy. But even now, like, you know, because of the matrix and how much faster you get your slots, even a self bind is not really necessary anymore.
Yeah, like great value characters. Demon Slayer, don't worry about crit rate. IED is good. And at least it's not just a one button character. I have to Demon Cry occasionally, you know. I have to.
Yeah. You gotta switch main attack when the Demon Awakening is off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Aran had to, like, you know, do the bear swipe and then the 3-hit, and occasionally, you know, it's not only one button.
No, it's definitely at least 2. Yeah, and you have to zoom a little bit. If you don't have a Buccaneer yet, that one's also really good. That's definitely more simple, but also high crit, high IED, very good as a bossing mule.
I'll see. I gotta make Buck anyways for the Legion because of the strength eventually.
Yep.
And the rarity.
Yeah, you can hit another with that. And the flat stat is not too bad. Like with all the pirates, it's not.
It's
not
not
the worst.
nothing.
If you want to stat flex, you know, if you want to stat flex on the homies.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Just those though. Yeah, that was important to me.
I think so.
I guess Flames.
Yeah.
What was it, like arcane 120s settle one?
Yeah, 125 is just usually for like the first pass. So like what your cape is at, like that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like a first first pass. You want to at least get to that. If you don't have that, you can just freely reroll. And once you have that, you can just like evenly bring them up. Of course, the weapon is going to be a big priority soon. So if you have some Eternals and stuff like that, you might want to start holding on to them if you think the weapon is close. And you know, maybe event shops that are coming up might help you quite a bit with the weapon flame. That's by far the top priority. So your glove is like close to 135, so that's already like a step in that extra direction. And once you start like approaching like 145 to 150, then you're good.
Hey, someone called me up for complaining about one button as a dog warrior. You're right, but I have the illusion of not being a one button.
Yeah, there's so much going on. There's so much visually going on. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like when you're Bowmaster and you're bursting, you know. Then it's like, oh my god, look at all the arrows. There's all these different types of arrows.
Yeah, like marksman. I got press split shot occasionally, you know, and like surge ball occasionally. You know, I gotta do something.
Yeah. You gotta hold it down for the extra animation cancel shots, right?
Yeah.
Get the DPM in. Marksman DPM kind of depressing, honestly. On like doing Will solo is kind of oof. When all the burst is off, like that bard not moving.
Yeah. I mean, you could use Perfect Shock for the damage, but even then, that's barely constitutes value. Maybe after AB, like it'll feel more impactful, like the 60-second cooldown.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, then you can do every shot. It'll be nice. A little mini nuke every 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything wrong with the flames. Feels like you're bringing those up pretty evenly. They all look really good. CRA flames are solid, and well, what I see from the Absolabs are good, but we're running over those anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And most of the rest, yeah. I mean, you are either still working on accessories or you're going to be switching into stuff. So, yeah, Twilight Mark, extra Bean Mark, possible pitches, like that'll all be decently high priority, but you don't have those like on the go yet. So, oh, I think you're. Oh no, you have a book. Yeah, I guess that the book is probably can use a little bit of love, right? It's a little bit under.
Yeah.
Because it's 160 under 200. I don't know how good your cup was, but yeah, typically
it was
for
a
book
cup.
also. It was a cup, yeah.
It was
it's typically like something like 120 to 125 as well. It's typically something you look for like in the beginning for pitches as well.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit harder to get that on the arcane, of course, but yeah, because you hold them so long, you push a little bit harder as soon as you get them.
I think basically that I keep zeroing out on potting. That's the big one. Keep zeroing out trying to find.
Yeah, if you want to do that, honestly, like, because flames are, just go like event flames on it or something, or you can ruin one flame at a time as long as you have one project that you're flaming. I think it's fine. But like right now, the book is basically the same flame as your black bean mark, right? Which, it's not. Yeah, that shows you that there is definitely more potential to gain there than there is over here. But if you ruin one flame at a time, your damage won't notice that unless it's your weapon, basically. So yeah, that's fine to work on. You don't have to buy flames for that. I would only buy flames to do your weapon, and if you have like your end game hitting pitch, then you want to go like, push the limit on that. That's only when I would really buy flames.
I still can't play sauce. I've seen 3 books, 1 belt. What else have I seen? So that's 4. The black heart, damage black heart that I have. 5. Yeah, I've seen 5 pitches for a single arcane weapon. This game, man. This game.
It's also just because you've pushed like through, like C10 really quickly. I think typically you're on like Hard Lotus and Hard Will for like months before you move on. So then it's more lopsided towards arcane drops, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, 3 books is also, that's pretty lucky too. I've seen like 5 books in my, and I think I checked it. I reached the kill 500 hard wills at like the end of 2022, and I've seen 5 total books. So
Yeah.
Well, not 5 total that I've seen. Sorry, I've seen like 8 maybe, but like I have 5 on my account.
Yeah. I can't even complain though, because on Scania, I think my first pitch boss was book, and I've seen in memory 4. I don't know if I've seen more than I've already seen that minimum 7.
Jeez. But how many total arcane weapons have you seen in Scania?
Oh,
like 100?
Yeah. 3 this week.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's just, you could just get any, right? It's almost more common that a weapon drops than not one drops or something.
Yeah, pretty much. It's around there, yeah. It's around
3 in a week. Damn, that's brutal. Yeah. Alright, I think we covered everything?
Looks like the orangutan for people who didn't see it. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, let's get the meeting.
I think it was at the bottom.
Yeah. Was it like Channel 2 news? Is that what the...
Perfect send off.
Just a bunch of highbrow people talking about important stuff, MapleStory stats and all that.
Yeah. Alright, looks good. Yep. Alright. Time for Mexican food, I guess, for me.
Alright, yeah, enjoy the food, and I'll see you around in chat. Best of luck. And show us those BAs when you switch to the weapon. I'm interested to see the difference. I would be surprised if it was anything less than like a 50% damage increase, honestly.
Alright, sounds good.
I look forward to that. That and ring. If you can hit a big ring, I don't know, like or 3, weapon jump 3 or 4, like anything like that. Yeah, that's gonna skyrocket your damage overnight.
Man, that was like a Roar 2, man. Like, I don't think anything.
Honestly, at this point, instead of like a event ring or like a 2-line 17 star, it's probably gonna increase your it's gonna increase your burst. Yeah, if it increases your DPM, probably.
I ring swap. That's fine.
Yeah, he's a ring swap. Yeah, ring swap. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Good luck and enjoy your food.
Yeah.
And I'll see you around.
Yep. All right. Peace out.
All right. Bye bye. Okie dokie. So, if you're in a similar situation, maybe not in Hyperion, maybe in Kronos, hopefully this sheds some light on general upgrading path. If you did play in any of the interactive worlds and you're thinking about, or you have also started playing maybe recently or maybe a little bit ago on the heroic servers, hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight on like how it is different and how you want to think differently about the potential of your items, not the potential stat, but the capacity of your items, you know, what they can do for you right now and what they could do for you in the future, because there is definitely some difference there, right? Some stuff might only have value because you can transfer it around to other characters, and then that means in Reboot it might, or in the heroic servers it might have close to no value. So that is something that you wanna think about. Like, how far do you upgrade? It always has something to do with how long do you hold it, and what is the thing that comes next. But what the thing is that comes next and how long you hold it depend on your options, and your options depend on your server. So it's all interconnected. So hopefully that gave a little bit of insight on the differences between the servers. And if you're in a similar situation, of course I wish the best of luck to you as well, but then the priority of the upgrades should be a little bit more clear. So I will be picking soon the winners from February. And for people who've been paying attention, there's probably not that many. I don't think I've uploaded that many sessions in February. I did a lot of private ones. Again, I think I did at least like 6 private ones or something. But I also forgot to pick the winners from January, so I'm going to be doing that as well. And I have to be giving some away to stream as well. I can give the 2 away to stream now, actually. Well, I need to go to the bathroom, but like after that. And then I'll pick the winners in the videos. So stay tuned for those in those YouTube comments. Hopefully you included your Discord name. If you know what I'm talking about, these sessions, there are different ways of getting these sessions. They're either just paid sessions, you just buy my time and I help you out, or this one was requested by a subscriber over on Twitch. If you are subscribed and you watch the stream, then you can just trade in the free channel points that you get for these sessions while you're subscribed. So that's a lot cheaper, but it takes a little bit of time. And if you're a member of the community, you can do it that way. Or you can just leave a comment saying that you would like one of these sessions for free, that you enjoy the content, and please include your Discord name. And then you could be one of the 2 people that I draw every month randomly from the comments who win a free session like this. And you can just ask me whatever you need to know to be able to progress in this game. If you want like specific bossing help with a specific boss, specific class, general progress, you're trying to do a special project and you want to get some insight on what you need to consider to make sure that you do the right preparations, for example, anything like that, any and all of those things, you have my time at your disposal, so you'll be able to use it. So yeah, that's been the session. Hopefully it was useful. Now you know how you can get one of these as well, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Check one of the other ones that hopefully showed up on the screen in the playlist. And I'll see you in the next one, or live over at twitch.tv/Scardor, where I stream every day. Feel free to drop by. You're always welcome. Thank you, and bye.